It's Football Friday at Greater Atlanta Christian as Josh Rose tries to lead GAC to evening up the score in this Colorado versus Georgia tilt. On the other side, he'll face Blake Stenstrom and a potent offensive attack from Valor Christian. You're watching SUVtv's Football Showcase.
Welcome to Spartan Stadium in this presentation of GAC versus Valor Christian. Tonight we are here in Norcross, Georgia for a big-time matchup between two teams who played in state championship games last year, both ranked in the top 5 in the state in their respective division, or in their respective classification, And on top of that, we got two great quarterbacks tonight. Along with Sly Williams, I'm Ned Case. Thanks for tuning in here on SUVtv Football. And Sly, when we look at Blake Stenstrom for Valor Christian, the senior committed to Colorado, sat out last week after concussion, but he's a player who's going to make plays all over the field tonight.
He's a guy who's going to be there. He's going to be on your left. He's going to be on your right. He'll be in the middle. He'll be downfield. He will be all over Mr. Stenstrom. We will call him Mr. I think he'll earn that title of Mr. by the time the night's over.
And for the Spartans, Josh Rose in his first season starting, the junior taking over for Davis Mills, who's now at Stanford and was a top prospect in last year's class. Rose this season, 235 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. He's also rushed for almost 60 yards. Still a little bit unproven, but putting up good numbers so far early in the season.
Josh, he's stepping into big shoes, and he's stepping into them well. The one thing I like about him, he has 4 touchdowns, but key stat, 0 interceptions. 0 interceptions. Josh Rose, he's a big-time player.
And we won't just see good quarterbacks on the field. We're going to see guys all over the field. When we look at GAC, Kyler McMichael, he's probably their focus of the team offensively and defensively. Starting running back, cornerback, committed to go play for Clemson, and Coach Dabo Sweeney, the Tigers. A couple other guys you're going to see on the field tonight and on Saturdays. Moving forward, Trey Morrison, a wide receiver and defensive back. He's committed to the University of North Carolina. You'll see him in Chapel Hill on Saturdays. Christopher Hinton, one of the big offensive linemen. We'll talk about this big offensive line for GAC. He's committed to Michigan, and his younger brother, Miles Hinton's receiving all kinds of offers already.
You know, I think it's easier to say who hasn't offered young Miles Hinton a scholarship yet. Young Miles Hinton, the kid is 15 years old. He is 6'6", 310 pounds. He is a man out there among boys. I am very interested to see this matchup tonight. It will be great to watch that young man play.
And for Valor Christian, their probably top overall prospect, Luke McCaffrey. Yes, that name might sound familiar. Younger brother of Christian McCaffrey. And they've got a brother playing in Michigan, got a brother playing in the pros right now. He is a radar on pretty much every major college's screen. Already offers from Duke, Michigan, and Ohio State. And also has started since his freshman year, already an offer from Colorado Boulder.
Oh yeah, he's a dynamic back. We watched him during practice on Wednesday. We came out here on Wednesday and we watched the practice. We'll talk about that Valor practice a little bit later, how precise it was. But that young man, as a junior, he is a dynamic running back. He will be great to see. Love to see him.
And the band is making their way off the field as the teams are about to make their way on. We'll be back here for more coverage of this game and kick off very shortly here on SUVtv.
This SUVtv football broadcast is brought to you by Choices to You, Food Delivery and Catering, P5 Designs, the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia, CBA Sports, and Recruit Georgia.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
Bring it to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Welcome back to Spartan Stadium here on the campus of Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross, Georgia, alongside Sly Williams. I'm Ned Case. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got two teams we mentioned in the opening, top teams in their state, compete for state championships every year, and so far they both come into this game unblemished. When we look at GAC, two pretty dominating wins over other private schools here in the metro Atlanta area, a 46-14 win over Lovett in week 1, and then week 2 Westminster 41-7. They took down the Wildcats. A bye week last week. Now they come into tonight's game for Valor Christian, wins over Faith Lutheran 30-21, and last week beating Mullen 34-7. That's their first win over Mullen in their short school's history and football program's history, something else we'll touch on a little bit later. Now looking at our keys to the game for Coach Tim Hardy in his 6th season here with the Spartans, some of these keys that they're going to be looking for all night is winning the battle in the trenches. This is an offensive line for Greater Atlanta Christian that averages 270 pounds across the board. We mentioned Miles and Christopher Hinton, two of the big linemen, big-time college commits and college recruits. So that's going to be a big test for a Valor Christian team that by the eye test looks like a bunch of big boys out there. Defensively for GAC, their secondary is going to be shut down. Two players committed to UNC, Trey Morrison, two players committed to the ACC, Trey Morrison committed to UNC, and we mentioned Kyler McMichael, he's committed to Clemson. We'll see both of them on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball, they're really going to shine. And that Southern hospitality that everybody likes to talk about, these Spartans don't want to show it to Valor Christian tonight. They want to smash them, hit them in the mouth from the opening whistle, so we'll see if they can give them a taste of some Southern football.
All right. Now, we go to the other side of the ball on Valor. What we want to look for is what we call the lineman litmus test. And what I say about the lineman litmus test, we have two of the biggest sophomores I've ever seen in my entire life. We're going to have, on the GAC side, on the offensive line, you're going to have one of the Hinton brothers, Miles Hinton. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. He's going to be taking on another sophomore by the name of Roger Rosengarten, a sophomore out of Valor. They have him listed as 6'5", 265 pounds. These guys are huge. These two guys are large, and that's going to be that lineman litmus test that you have to worry about. Who's going to win in the trenches when it comes to those two? The next one is shake and bake with Sinstrom and McCaffrey. Sinstrom, he has been waiting in the wings for the past 3 years to become the starting quarterback. Been waiting to become the starting quarterback. Now, his first game, he got a concussion, but he came back the next game and lit it on fire throwing the ball. He's going to be the one to put it in the air. On the ground, a little bit of that, he's going to bake, and then you get a little bit of the shake with McCaffrey. McCaffrey, you know the name. You might not know him, but you know the name. You know he's fast. He's the second leading rusher on the team, the young man is. So that's going to be special, the shake and bake between Stenstrom and McCaffrey. And the last one is controlling the tempo. Controlling the tempo. If Valor wants to win the night, Valor has to run the ball. They have to control the clock and own the clock against these athletes over on the GAC sideline.
If you're in Gwinnett or North Fulton, get dinner without leaving the house tonight. Go to choices2u.com and use promo code SUVChoices to get $5 off your order. Again, go to choices2u.com and use promo code SUVChoices to get $5 off your order tonight. What a great night to sit at home, watch a little football, and enjoy a nice dinner brought right to you. The captains meet at midfield, and GAC makes their way out of the locker room. A beautiful field house, Hoover Field House. Newly built about 3 years ago. A scoreboard in there that's going to be awesome to watch all night. Already pregame, they're flashing some cool graphics up on there.
Man, I'm telling you, that scoreboard reminds me. It gives me the feeling that I'm at a small college, man. Not even a small college can't afford this, man. This is something nice, man. It's hard for me to believe that this is just a high school stadium that we're in. The game atmosphere outside. They have the little kids bouncy place over to the sideline. They had the student fun section of pregame. They had a pregame tailgate over in the beginning. Ned, man, this is good. This is high school football action right here. This is the experience that you want.
Absolutely, and Valor Christian last year was gracious enough to host GAC as GAC made their cross-country trip to play Valor last year in a game that Valor won 21-17 with a late touchdown with about 7 minutes left that proved to be the difference in the game. And just so you guys have an idea of what Valor's travel looked like coming in this week, they left Wednesday morning, flew into Atlanta, practiced here Wednesday night in a practice that you said was quite fun to watch, Sly.
Quite fun to watch. You know, Ned, I've played football from the time I was 9 years old all the way up to college, Ned. I have never seen a practice run like this. I'm talking about it was no dead time for anyone. The people standing on the sideline, it was always something to do. They had a rotation of 4 quarterbacks. They also brought the JV squad up here. Great trip for the JV squad. They actually got to play at Buford last night. The JV squad played at Buford. But anyway, they had 4 quarterbacks going, a 2 rotation. In the early drills, they had one quarterback throwing a short route, the other quarterback throwing a long route at the same time. As soon as they completed the pass, they had the next 2 quarterbacks step up. They had a half line. They had the running backs going with half the offensive line on the left side of the field, and then on the right side of the field, they had half the running backs going with the right side, and they were just running in plays. They were running plays, you know, between the tackle, you know, quite inside, what we call inside runs with the running backs. The rest of the offensive linemen who weren't blocking on that one, they were down there working on individual drills with the coaches down here. I have never seen anything that precise in my lifetime.
Well, Valor Christian with 4 coaches on staff who spent time in the NFL, so they certainly have seen how practices have been run sharply, and we'll touch on that also as the game continues to improve. And, you know, we mentioned these 2 teams, they're going to get competitive on the field today, but Wednesday night these 2 teams got together, did a little family feud, GAC versus Valor. Coach Hardy was excited about that. He said it was going to be a ton of fun. And then Coach Sherman on Thursday took his Valor Christian Eagles over, and they did a service project with Books for Africa. So, you know, on top of coming over here to play football, really getting involved in a different community and making a difference, which you absolutely love to see.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me kind of bowl week for college teams. What Valor got, what a great experience flying out here to Atlanta, and then they got to do, you know, the team building activities, having dinner with the Smartans from GAC. They had dinner with them. They played the family feud. They got to do the service project, and I think they want to go by the College Football Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. They did mention wanting to do that maybe this morning, I think, before the game.
So, but it was awesome. I feel it was kind of like a bowl week atmosphere for those guys making that trip. Awesome experience.
Yeah, absolutely love to see that, and you know that they're excited, but all that's in the past as we're ready to kick this one off. GAC, they're bouncing around on the sideline already. It's going to get underway. The Spartans are going to start with the ball on offense first, and back deep, the 2 ACC commits, number 2, Kyler McMichael, and number 4, Trey Morrison. Teeing it off for the Valor Eagles is number 4, Brian Brogan. Brogan puts his right foot into it, and Morrison's going to field it at the 5-yard line, looking to reverse his field. Coming up the left side, puts his foot in the ground, makes a nice little move, spins off a would-be tackler, and he's going to be gang tackled down, spotted right about the 22-yard line, and that's where junior Josh Rose will lead this offense.
Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to, this matchup on the inside. They're going to have, both teams have really large high school lineups. And like I said earlier, that lineman litmus test, this is where the game is going to be won, right here in the trenches, Ned.
So Rose will start in the shotgun. 2 receivers each side. He's going to be taking snaps from the senior Nate Ritchie tonight. 4 at the line for Valor. And it's going to be a start with the run of McMurray. Quickly changes direction across the 30. That's going to be a first down and more as he's knocked out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Just shy. It'll be the 39.
Great run to get to the outside by McMichael. All he did was just cut to the outside. Great down blocking by the offensive line. Beautiful. Pick up the first down and keep things moving.
And the Spartans will go quickly. No huddle, ready to go right away. Trips to the top of the screen. Rose going to throw for the first time tonight. It's an out route intended for Max Burke. He handles, but is hit right away. Nice job of tackling there by the defense, number 36, Peyton Polson.
Great job by the outside linebacker to close fast. And they marked him for a 3-yard gain. But, you know, that's one of the great things about it. Hey, you got to live with the referee's spot. But that was a great job of closing on that pass.
So, again, quickly to the line, but this time under center I formation. McMichael takes the handoff and is quickly met at the line for a short gain. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 5.
You know, that's going to be one of the rare times that you see McMichael go backwards. He's a hard runner. McMichael likes to lower his shoulder. He's one of those guys, what I like to say, he's never pushed backwards when he's tackled. He's always falling forward. That'll be one of the rare times that you'll see McMichael go backwards.
So 3rd and 5, first third down of the game for the Spartans. Picked up a first down on their first play from scrimmage, now looking to get their second. Twins to each side. McMichael's lined up to the left of Rose. Rose is going to drop, steps up in the pocket. He's got some room, scrambles for the first down and a little bit more, and he's across midfield to the Valor Christian 44-yard line. Nice decision there by Rose.
Great decision making by the young man. He looked to the left, he didn't see it. He checked down, didn't see it. Pocket was closing on the outside, took off straight up the middle. Great decision making by that young man.
Rose, a good athlete, also plays on the lacrosse team here at GAC. Had a couple brothers who've come up through the football program. Now in his first start, replacing Mills. Bubble out to Kyler McMurray. He picks up a block and stays on his feet down the sideline near the 30-yard line. Big block there on the edge.
Hey, credit that play to Ryan Milovich. Ryan, 5'10", senior wide receiver. He got what we like to call that dead cockroach position. He put the defender in the dead cockroach position, a decleater to open up that play and to pick up another 15 yards off the reception for that.
So again, the change move, I formation. McMichael is going to take the handoff on a counter play, and again, not a lot of room. Excuse me, that was second down. So that'll bring up a third down.
Wow, you know, a lot of meat in that interior. A lot of meat stuffed down there in the middle. But one thing I like what Coach Hardy's doing. I'm sorry. Oh, boy. Coach Hardy, I like what Coach Hardy's doing by spreading them out. Yep. Throwing some passes to the outside, opening up that middle. The middle will be there if they can keep the outside open.
3rd and short, Morrison comes in motion. He's going to take it, cuts up field, bounces down to the outside, and he's going to have a first down near the 30-yard line. This GAC offense is moving the ball very effectively on their opening drive.
Hey, that right there, that's great individual effort by that young man because he was tackled. He was tackled, and he wouldn't have got the first down, but he kept turning his feet. He was moving. You couldn't touch him in a phone booth. He's one of those guys. Couldn't touch him in a phone booth, and he still managed to pick up the first down. Good run by that young man.
So trips to the top of the screen. Trey Morrison furthest out wide. He gets set. Rose ready to take the snap. He's going to pass bubble screen out to Max Burke. Catches it at the 30. Breaks, drags a tackler, we'll say. Looks like that was 36 taking him down.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Polson.
That quick out route or that quick little bubble screen, that's working on the outside, working. It's just working like clockwork for Rose. Now, once again, I say if you keep opening up the outside, be careful. The middle will be wide open in a little bit.
McMichael in the single back behind Rose, 2 tight ends. It's going to be power football. He changes direction, and nice tackle on the outside there by the Eagles, number 13, Ryan Tebow.
Yeah, Ryan Tebow, he came up. Tebow, got to watch out for that guy because we're going to call the name Tebow a lot because it's another kid, Matthew Tebow. They're twins. We got 2 sets of twins out here for this Valor team, but good job by Ryan Tebow.
Ryan enters the game with 8 tackles. Brother Matthew enters the game with 14 tackles, including 1 for loss. So they'll be roaming the field. And Rose in this off top to try to take care of blocking them, and they couldn't on that one as McMichael's met right at the line.
Yeah, right now, the push in the middle is not there. It's not there for GAC. GAC, the Spartans have to open up that middle. What I like to call that interior line, the guard, the center, and the other guard, they have to get some push down there. They got to move, but it's a lot of mountains of meat down there to move. That's the Rocky Mountains down there for real.
Valor Christian hailing from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Rose in the shotgun. Got Morrison, single receiver to the bottom of the screen. That's where he's looking, out route, and Morrison couldn't quite, look like a little jam press coverage on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Great job of press coverage on the outside. And what happened when Morrison was coming out of that, when he was going into that break, he kind of slipped on the turf. That turf monster jumped up and got him, and he lost his footing, and he didn't have the touchdown. Just that quick. Just that quick. It's a game of inches.
So Sean Henderson will come out to attempt this field goal of 30 yards. Henderson got 2 50-yard field goals already on the season. And now he's got one of 30. So GAC drives their way down the field, but the Eagle defense stands tough as they get in the red zone, and it'll be 3-0 on a 30-yard field goal by Sean Henderson. Welcome back to Spartan Stadium. We're here as the Valor Christian Eagles have traveled cross country to take on the Greater Atlanta Christian Spartans. And the Spartans get on the board first. I'm Ned Cage alongside Sly Williams. Sly, what'd you see on that offensive drive for GAC that was a lot of success?
Those quick passes to the outside. They had those bubble screens going on, those flare outs going. It was wide open for them. Valor has to step up and control that outside.
So Henderson is going to put this kick in the end zone, which is a touchback here in Georgia high school football. And that's what you should try to do if you got Luke McCaffrey back there returning kicks.
Oh, yeah. You know, if you don't know anything about Luke McCaffrey, just know that name. Just know that name. I'm pretty sure to be a McCaffrey, you have to have a speed test to qualify to make it in that family. And I mean, so I know you don't want to get that kid a 10-yard head of steam, man.
Of course, McCaffrey's father, Ed McCaffrey, played for the Denver Broncos with John Elway, won a couple Super Bowls. And the youngest of 4 brothers. So I formation for Valor. Stenstrom's under center, hard count. GAC moved but got back. Stenstrom's going to throw out wide, caught at the 22-yard line and quickly tackled. That was caught by number 13, Ryan Tebow.
Great job by Trey Morrison. He's playing corner. He's out there on the island by himself. Great job of squaring up the receiver, pulling him down, making the tackle by himself. Good job of coverage by Morrison.
So Stenstrom, 1 for 1 so far tonight. Comes into the game 12 of 22 with 128 yards. He's going to bring McCaffrey behind him into the pistol. And it's going to be a play-action fake. Crossing route tip. Nice job there of getting your hands in the lane. Number 36, Michael DeWise.
Michael DeWise playing his outside linebacker position. He was rolling zone coverage, following the quarterback, rolling with the quarterback, put his hands up to knock down that pass. Beautiful play by the young man.
Play action to McCaffrey is going to draw a lot of eyes. That could be something to look for out of Valor all night.
Stenstrom to McCaffrey. We'll get back to that combination in a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit of something about that.
So now empty backfield for Stenstrom. 2 receivers and a tight end. GAC looking for movement up front. Don't get the call. Stenstrom out wide to McCaffrey and quickly tackled out of bounds, and a flag comes in from way behind the play.
Not quite sure what happened on that one. Did he maybe get his face mask?
He may have. There was 2 receivers running a combo route, so could have been interference. So we'll see what the officials call. First laundry of the night.
Yeah, it could be one of those moving picks or something like that. You know, you never know. We'll see. Not quite sure where the referees, what conference the referees are from. You know, in Georgia, for our people in Colorado, Georgia, we have a bunch of different referee associations. Pass interference on the offense.
So it was probably one of those moving picks that are really starting to make their way into football with those slants and out routes and all those different combinations.
Yeah. We have different referees associations in Georgia, and that way you kind of keep things honest. You don't want the guys, if you live in Duluth, you don't want that referee and that association refereeing a Duluth game, you know. So they kind of split it up and make it a little bit different for these referee associations here in Georgia. Now, I said earlier we talked about that Stenstrom to McCaffrey.
Yep.
Now, if you go back into a time machine, you go back to Stanford in the 80s, it was Sinstrom to McCaffrey also. The quarterback for Stanford was Steve Sinstrom, former NFL player, backed up Steve Young. He threw it to Ed McCaffrey, NFL receiver. Hey, stuff doesn't change. It just keeps revolving.
And we'll get into it a little more, I'm sure, when we talk about the Hinton brothers and their pedigree. But now it'll be a 3rd and long here for the Eagles, looking to pick up their first down of the game. Stenstrom under center. He's worked that hard count a couple times so far. Here it looks like a little bit of that option element that we'll see out of this offense, and it is a give up the middle. I believe that was Tebow getting the carry.
Yeah, that was just what we call a simple safe play right there. They just wanted to hand it off and realize, you don't have too many plays in your playbook for 3rd and 18. It's not too many of those plays, but you just run it off, hand it up in the middle, and see what happens.
That was number 32 on that last carry, Easton Cecil, but couldn't get enough for the first down, so we'll see the first punt of the game. And it looks like it'll be Cecil punting after his carry. Left-footed rugby-style kick is blocked and falling all inside the 5-yard line. GAC with an early break in this game.
It doesn't get much better than that. That was pretty. That was beautiful. It was a left-footed kick, and the rush came from the left side. I mean, they came right there on the punt. Beautiful to get in there and lay out for that one and get that punt. That was a beautiful block kick. That's just coaching right there. That's coaching and planning right there. They saw the rugby style punt. They knew it was coming, so they sent their blitz, they sent their blockers from that side. It's beautiful coaching. That's all that is.
So now Coach Hardy will have his offense starting this drive inside the 5-yard line. Josh Rose in the shotgun with Kyler McMichael, the Clemson commit, next to him. Now Trey Morrison comes in motion. They hand to Morrison on the jet sweep, trying to get to the edge. Flag comes in the area of holding.
Yeah, I think that may have been McMichael trying to get that seal block on the end. I used to have my coach. I was coached in high school. I was coached by Coach Charlie Macaluso. Coach Mac used to tell us, it's no such thing as holding, as long as the ref doesn't see you. But if you're going to hold,
absolutely,
make sure you aren't doing it in front of the ref.
And I believe that they were caught on that one, so that'll back them up 10 and kind of take away that field position, change up your play calls a little bit here.
Yeah, you had a spot where you were 1st and goal on the 5-yard line. Me, I'm an old school guy. I love to see a fullback. It makes my skin itch. It makes my skin itch when I see you inside the 10-yard line and there's no fullback in the shotgun. Oh, I start crying. I start going to convulsions.
We see Alex Boglin check in for the first time at running back. Rose throwing. Pass was tipped at the line.
Not sure which one of those big guys got their hand on the ball, but, it was some monsters up there that get one of those paws on the ball. But that's something you learn as an offensive lineman when you know that pass is probably set up to probably come across the middle. Like do something they call a gut punch. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody I told you. But you might have to do that little gut punch to get those hands down.
That might have been one of the super sophomores you mentioned in the opener, Rosengarten, getting his hands on that one. Coming in motion is Blake. Play action fake. Rose rolling to his left. Hits Blake at the 10 and tackled down at the 7-yard line. Jeffrey Blake, his first catch of the game.
You know what? And I hate to mention this so late. I should have mentioned it when it happened, but our crack research staff here at SUVtv, they told us that on that block punch, the DB coach for Greater Atlanta Christian, Coach Ken Irvin, he blocked 4 punts in one game at Memphis State University. 4 punts in one game. So maybe that's where that came from. I said good coaching. I guess that's where it came from. Thanks to my crack.
I was going to say, that research staff, very impressive to get those records right there.
We dig deep over here at SUVtv. I'm telling you.
I don't know what's more impressive, that stat or 4 block punts in a game.
How do you block 4? Pretty soon, after the second block punt, if you're on the other staff, you might say, hey, fellas.
Let's put 2 there.
Watch that guy. Let's find out where that guy's going to line up. And after the 3rd block punt, he's like, fellas, let's just hold that guy. Don't even worry about blocking him. Let's just grab him.
So it looks like we had another flag on GAC right there, so it'll back them up again, taking away that completion to Blake. So 2nd and goal from the 21-yard line now. Rose again rolling to his left, looking for a man. Got someone downfield and just overthrown his intended target, Milovic.
You know, that's one of those passes. He's rolling to the wide side of the field, rolling to the left side of the field, right-handed quarterback. On that one right there, he didn't have any pressure coming from his backside. So that's one of those ones where you have to have that internal feeler on you and just set your feet, plant your feet and make the good throw, and that would have been a completion. But it's easy for me to tell you that when I'm up top.
So 3rd and goal from the 21-yard line. Let's see what Coach Hardy can draw up here. Rose in a straight drop back. Pressure coming from the Eagles to the end zone. He's got Morrison. Did he get his hands under it? He didn't. And a timing route there, but Rose had to throw that ball a bit early because he had pressure right in his face.
Pressure from number 73, Roger Rosengarten. He came up the middle, and that was a big man running at you. And he also even delivered a little blow after the pass. That's why that ball didn't have the air under it that he needed. Rosengarten's a big fella.
So Henderson now on for his 2nd field goal attempt. Off the hold of Burke. And that one is high and through.
My goodness. He knocked that thing through. It was over the goalpost when it went through it. He could have kicked that one for 20 more yards out and still had plenty of leg to go.
So Henderson good from 30 to start the game. Now good from 33. And Henderson perfect on his extra point so far this season. He's got a big-time leg.
I'm telling you, man, that was a huge kick, man. He kicked that thing. He had another 20 yards to go, man.
GAC's kicker last year, Brooks Buse, now with the Georgia Bulldogs. So kicking lineage, and Henderson with that leg looks like he may follow heading to play on Saturdays.
I'm telling you, somebody will find the spot for you. If you're kicking like that, somebody will find the spot for you. And then he kicked his kickoff about 3 yards deep in the end zone. I can find a spot for you.
This GAC sideline gets up for their kickoffs. Coach Hardy talked about that. And Henderson, this one's going to be a low-line drive squib kick that McCaffrey mishandles, but now picks up inside the 5-yard line, looking for room up the middle, and is slung to the ground inside the 20-yard line.
Oh, yeah, the Spartans out there laying the lumber. They're out there laying the lumber on that kickoff team. You know, that's what I love about the kickoff team. Kickoff team, you get the wildest kids in the school. You get the kid who doesn't care about life itself, and you just let him run down the field and smack somebody in the mouth. That kickoff team, whoo, I love the kickoff team.
Absolutely. So now this Valor Christian offense back on the field for the 2nd time, looking to pick up their first down. Stenstrom in at quarterback. Now he's going to motion out wide, and Luke McCaffrey will take the snap. Again, he started a game at quarterback when Stenstrom was out with an injury. McCaffrey takes a snap, pump fakes now. He's going to sweep to his left, looking for a little bit of room. Has a hole, bounces it to the outside. That's going to be a first down and pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Now, I want you to notice something about the packages that Valor will come to the game with. Coach told me on the sideline, he said Wednesday when we were at practice, he said when every time they come to the line of scrimmage, our quarterbacks have 3 plays. He can choose what play he wants to call. That's a lot for a high school guy.
Yeah, absolutely. They talk about how a lot of these high school quarterbacks are just looking to 1 or 2 receivers. Stenstrom's really doing it the way they do it at higher levels. You can see why he's committed to Boulder. In the I formation, brings a man in motion, looking like power football. It is going to be power football to Davis this time as he squeaks through for about a 5-yard gain.
Josiah Davis, he's one of those guys. He's a junior. He has D1 offers from just about everybody. He's the bell cow of the program, that bell cow running back that you have. They're kind of waiting for this guy to open up tonight.
And Chris and Miles Hinton come from the sideline to the game, and they're big presences when they jog on the field at defensive tackle, trying to stop this power run game Valor's had a little success with. Again, this triple option formation, same principles. They run a lot of different space. Now a pump fake there by Stenstrom on the fake pitch, but a big-time tackle delivered by. Let's see who that was. Number 20 for the Spartans. He gets out of the pile. That was Kyle Ellis.
Hey, you know what that's called? That's called assignment football. Assignment football from GAC. The cornerback had the pitch man, the tackle had the dive man, and your inside linebackers and your safeties had the quarterback. It was nowhere to go. That's great assignment football by the Spartans.
Ellis flying up from his safety position. Him and the senior Hunter Cole roaming those safety spots alongside McMichael and Morrison. And we're going to have an official's timeout, but now they're going to blow it back live.
Had to check the equipment. One of the guys' knee pad was up.
And we do have an electronic play clock here, which is very nice, especially for us up in the booth. Stenstrom hands off to Davis, nowhere to go. He's thrown to the ground. Big number 78, the sophomore, Miles Hinton.
Miles Hinton was in the backfield like he had land ownership rights back there in the backfield, like it was some of his property back there. Somebody dropped a stake in the backfield or something. He was back there quick. 15 years old. Wow. That's a large guy.
You talk about all these different packages that Valor Christian runs. They just brought in 5 new guys. Their quarterback on the sideline, McCaffrey, and a quarterback. GAC defense will have to make sure they know their assignments. It's a fake handoff up the middle to McCaffrey, and he's tackled there by number 5, Robbie Fowler, the leading tackler for this Spartans defense.
Robbie Fowler came up from his linebacker position. He read that perfectly. They had 2 up backs up, 2 H-backs up blocking. Fowler split between them and made the tackle on the read option. Great job by Fowler.
So it brings up a 3rd and long. Ball still hasn't crossed into Spartan territory yet. Valor looking to do that with a 1st down. Shotgun for Stenstrom. He's got Davis to his left. Twins to each side. Snap, straight drop back. Pressure right away. Now rolling to his right, looking for a man. Dumps it off short to Davis, and he's not going to have the 1st down yardage. And we do have a flag behind the play.
Yeah, that was bright as day. That was a holding. Somebody tried to get, it was Chris Hinton. Hinton was providing the pressure, and somebody had his jersey, and they jumped on his back and held him. I thought Hinton looked like the MARTA bus out there. He was just carrying that offensive lineman. That guy owes him $1.75 or $1.25. I'm not sure how much the MARTA charges nowadays, but he was holding bad.
And nice coverage there on the back end by the Spartan defense. At first, it was nice time for Centrum to get his drop in a read, but he just didn't have anywhere to go, and finally Hinton bowled through. And it looks like the 2 flags, one for an ineligible man downfield and the other for holding. So we'll see what Coach Hardy decides to back him up or just make him have a 4th down decision.
Yeah, I think that man downfield, you lose the down.
Oh, you're right.
You lose the down on that one, I think. Yep, he's going to pat him on the head. Decline that.
They're going to decline it.
Take the holding.
So they take the hold, so they back him up 5 they back him up 10 instead of 5 and bring up another long 3rd down. So it goes from 3rd and 11 to 3rd and 21.
Oh, yeah. They called the holding. They mark it off from the spot of the foul.
Yep, so it'll be even further.
That's why Coach Hardy gets the big bucks.
Yep.
That's why we're up here in the booth, and Coach Hardy gets the big bucks.
So 3rd and long, we'll say here for the Eagle offense. And we'll see what Coach Rod Sherman has in mind on the last 3rd and long from deep in their own territory. They went a little conservative with the dive play. So shotgun and snap for Stenstrom. 2 receivers each side. McCaffrey in the slot at the top of the screen. He's running a seam route. Stenstrom finds another seam route. It's caught over the middle near 1st down yardage. Tackled was number 20 with that catch and run for the Eagles, Caden Keefe. And he looks like just short. But they may bring those chains out.
Yeah, I think he'll be about a hair short. They're going to measure. You know what? You might as well come on out here and measure and make sure. But that was a great job of patience. Patience by Central to find his open receiver, because Keefe wasn't his main target. He wasn't his main target. He looked, he checked down, he checked one more time, and then he came back to Keefe. He came back to Keefe and found him on that little inside seam. Great job of patience. But you know what, though? They had a 3-man rush. It was a 3-man rush. Oh.
Ooh, they got it.
Oh.
That was about as close as you can get on that one.
I'm telling you, what
And
a
so
spot.
that 3rd and long conversion with just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We'll see if that can bring some energy to this Valor Christian team that just hasn't quite gotten on the roll that they want. So again, this triple option look, but with only one A-back, if you will. Receiver to each side and a tight end. Coming in motion, it's Davis. Now it's an I formation. It's going to be a dive up the middle. And quickly tackled there was number 32 on the carry, Easton Cecil.
I tell you what, for both these teams, they're not getting much up the middle. It is too much. It's too much man down there in the middle for both of these teams to run. But man, I keep telling you, man, I'm an old school guy, man. I love to see just pound it out.
Smash mouth
football.
And we'll see if that middle opens up, as one of these teams will likely wear down the other. So we'll see which offensive line put in that work in the offseason. Under center, no back, quick drop, throw, first down, caught. Number 87 on the catch there. That's Ben Anderson.
Great catch by Anderson just to catch that ball and absorb the contact and let the people just keep hitting them. You know, I've been counting, and that is the 10th different formation that Valor has used. 10th different formation that Valor has used.
And Coach Hardy talked about that when we talked to him this week. It's just defense always has to be ready, has to communicate what they're in, and the coaching staff needs to be ready to send the right guys on the field. So I formation again. Stenstrom under center. Davis behind him. Stenstrom keeps it, fakes the pitch, has nowhere to go, and again, good assignment football there as the tackle was made once again by the safety Ellis.
Ellis came up from his safety spot. He read that option beautifully. You don't get much better than that as a safety, playing your assignment ball. Great job by Ellis from coming up from his safety spot. But here's something to watch out for. Watch out for that option look. And they'll take 3 steps back and throw it over the top. It's in the playbook.
And we'll see if we see that and more formations from this Valor Christian offense in the second quarter. After one, the score, GAC 6, Valor Christian nothing. Thanks for tuning in here on SUVtv.
This SUVtv football broadcast is brought to you by Choices to You, Food Delivery and Catering, P5 Designs, the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia, CBA Sports, and Recruit Georgia.
And we're back here at Spartan Stadium in Norcross, Georgia. Second and long here for the Valor Christian Eagles coming in motion. It's Anderson rolling to his right, quarterback Stenstrom looking for somebody, pressure in his face, and eludes the sack attempt of big number 77, Ford Roberts out there.
Now, that's one thing the kids from Valor want to be a little bit careful on. When they roll out of that pocket and throw it away, in the state of Georgia, you can't just roll out of the pocket and just throw it anywhere. You have to throw it in the direction of a receiver once you get outside of the pocket. They will call illegal grounding if you just throw it anywhere outside of the pocket.
Nice reminder there. Obviously the rules in high school different than college, different than the pros. So now Stenstrom third and long. They converted their last one. He's got a man wide open. Davis caught at the 10, untouched into the end zone. Josiah Davis gets Valor Christian on the board.
That's all quarterback play. That's why that kid's going to Colorado. That's why he's doing the Colorado. He looked across the field, didn't have a receiver. He felt the pressure from the backside, stepped up in the pocket, threw it on the money to a receiver, to probably his third choice.
Yep.
Wide open for a touchdown. It's a reason some kids go to D1 schools and some kids don't. That he showed you why he's going to a D1 school.
So now the extra point to take the lead looks like it snuck through the right upright, and it did. So Brian Brogan, the sophomore kicker, puts Valor Christian up for the first time tonight. And while we have a momentary pause in the game, we want to let you guys know that Choices to You brings several restaurants and meals of your choice right to your home, business, or school. Use promo code SUVChoices to get $5 off your order. Again, promo code SUVChoices to get $5 off your order. What better time to order some food, sitting at home, watching a little high school football? If you're in the Norcross or the Gwinnett or North Fulton area, try it out.
Hey, great service, man. After the game, I sat down, I ordered something. I came home, I wanted to get a little bit of something to eat so I could review my game and watch the game again. Perfect service choice. Excuse me. Perfect choice.
So the kickoff from Brogan, and that was a drive that spanned 2 quarters, and you talked about a lot of different formations, and finally you just break down that defense. So Brogan kicks it deep. Morrison fields it at the 5. Again, reverses his field. Now reverses his field again. Nice move down the sideline. Lowers the shoulder and finishes the run up near the 30-yard line.
Trey Morrison making something out of nothing because they kicked it into that coffin corner, and he was trying to get to his blockers on the other side of the field, but he managed just to turn it back to his sideline and pick up some yardage. Great play by Morrison. Hey, we got a lot of listeners out here, Ned, man. I want the listeners to talk to me. I want them to talk to us. Let us know how we're doing, man. Tweet SUVtv football, I'm sorry. Be a part of today's game conversation. Tweet at SUVtv football during today's game and use the hashtag SUVtv football.
Let us know, especially if you get you some Choices to You brought to you. Let us know how it is. And a first down run. That looks like it was number 10, that was 6 on the carry there for the Eagles. Monte Bailey.
Monte Bailey, 10th grader, young sophomore, getting a little bit of shine on the big night here. Beautiful night for football, man. You got to love it.
Absolutely. A cool 77 degrees, not 77 degrees. At kickoff, it was 77 degrees. Now we've gotten down to about 73. So it's dropping on us as the sun goes down, and Josh Rose takes a snap, looking for the bubble screen, but hits the sit route and just off the hands of his intended receiver, Jake Floyd. Nice hit delivered there by the linebacker, Jaden Murray.
Yeah, Murray came in and broke that one up. Big play by the big man to come in and break it up. But it was a nice route ran by the tight end. He found that soft spot in the zone. He curled up and just sat there. But it was a good job by the linebacker to come in and break that pass play up.
So 2nd and 5 here. Third and 5 here. Ball on the 35-yard line. Rose under center. Single back behind him, 2 receivers to each side. It's going to be a handoff to McMichael. Puts his foot in the ground, makes a man miss, and down the sideline, knocked out of bounds. That wasn't McMichael. It was the sophomore, Monte Bailey, running like a Clemson commit.
Monte got behind those 2 guards. They pulled those 2 guards out the block for him, and what you said, he put his foot in the ground. He made a good cut. He stomped on the ground. He stomped on the dime and turned and went upfield. Great job by the sophomore running that thing.
Coach Hardy said we wouldn't see a lot of sophomores tonight. We'd see Hinton, obviously, but Bailey, a nice surprise for Coach Hardy, one of the young guys contributing. So empty formation for Rose. It's a quarterback draw, and it's well executed. He's got room across the middle and is dragged down by number 9, Ethan Zimla, with his 16th tackle of the year.
Great play call right there. They're expecting that pass to the outside, empty backfield. Quarterback saw he had the wide open space for the draw. Now all we got to do is teach the kid how to slide. I like tough guys, but sometimes you gotta know when to slide.
Josh Rose comes from an athletic family. Oldest brother plays football at Lafayette. Next brother, John, Graduated last year. He's playing lacrosse at Utah, and probably tuning in and watching his little brother play some football and move the chains.
Moving the chains, smash mouth football, you know. First quarter, they did a lot of passes to the outside. Now, what did I tell you? That inside is starting to open up. Let's just run it straight at them. Let's hit it. Hit them in the face. Hit them in the face. You know, that's in the face. That's what I like.
That smash mouth football. Sly Williams, you can find him at Twitter at Sly the Sports Guy. Let him know if you were a smash mouth football guy, if you like this spread new style of football.
Hey, yeah, be sure to tweet me, man. Let me know what's going on. I got my phone in front of me. Tweet me at Sly the Sports Guy. Let me know something.
Play action fake to Rose, rolling to his left. He's got his tight end caught and running across, getting the first down marker down near the 21-yard line. That was caught by Jeffrey Blake.
You know, everything is based on the run. That run opened up that play action pass, Ned. That's exactly what happened. The run froze that linebacker and allowed the tight end to get out there and make that catch. Was that a tight end or a fullback?
Looked like it was a tight end coming in motion.
Everything is based off of a strong running game.
So shotgun again, trips to the bottom of the screen. And it's going to be the bubble out to Floyd, caught and knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Jake Floyd picks up 7 on that catch.
Hey, give a big hand out to Max Burt, number 9. Max Burt laid the block to open that play up, and he did a good job of blocking and not holding to open that play up. So good job by Burt.
Seen GAC do a lot of stuff off that bubble look. They've thrown the bubble, they've run slants, they've thrown the curl route off that. See if they continue to work that. Shotgun snap for Rose. It's going to be over the middle. He's got Birkin right off his hands. Burke couldn't quite pull it in. He was hit there by the leading tackler for this Eagle defense, Chase Lopez.
Ned, it hit him in the worst place you can imagine. It hit him in the hands, Ned. It hit him in the hands. Oh, soon as I talked, I'm the jinx. I'm the jinx. Soon as I talked him up, he dropped one for me. I'm the jinx. Blame it on me.
Burke comes into the game with 6 catches for almost 50 yards and 2 touchdowns, so one of Rose's favorite targets. I'm sure he'll look back to the senior. Now under center I formation up the middle. And McMichael's going to be close to the first down, but it looks like he's spotted about a yard short. Following the block of the fullback, number 42, Alan Galloway.
Now here we go, decision time right here.
You got to feel like after 2 field goals, driving deep in territory, you want a touchdown here if you're Coach Hardy.
And I think Coach Hardy's bringing on some extra meat in the lineup too.
Rob,
you have both Hinton brothers out there.
And they'll bring in their power back, Robbie Fowler. They like to bring him in. We saw him on Wednesday in their goal line period. He's kind of their power back, and we'll see if they go to him, and they do. And he's got a first down and almost more tripped up Robbie Fowler at the 6.
Wow. That was a big run, big hole. He shot straight through. Somebody needs to give Chase Lopez an extra serving at dinner tomorrow night for making that touchdown-saving tackle, because, I mean, he grabbed him by his pinky toe and managed to bring him down.
And Fowler will stay in again behind the fullback, Galloway. They're going to run I formation again. Fowler, he runs that football hard, and he runs it straight ahead.
Yeah, Robbie Fowler, 6'1", 200 pounds. I might have to give him about 2'5", 210. He looks like a nice-sized young man out there running. And see, that's what I like to see. I like to see a fullback in the game, your big offensive lineman. Give me a big tight end or H-back out there. I want to see power. I want to see somebody just run somebody over down here at the goal line. We call this man territory.
2nd and goal from the 2. Fowler behind Galloway, coming in motion. It's the tight end. Power football. Fowler is in. So after settling for 2 field goals after getting deep in Eagle territory, the Spartans punch this one in as Robbie Fowler gets his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season.
You know, all that is right here as we look at the replay, all that is Fowler says, I want it more than you. Look at that. He busts through the line. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and he keeps those legs churning, and he pushes his way forward to the end zone. All that is Fowler says, hey, this is man territory, and I'm a man. Stop me. They can't stop him. That's a big run by a big man, Mr. Robbie Fowler.
Fowler came into the game with the extra point is good. Fowler came into the game with 2 rushes for 3 yards and a touchdown. And he exceeded or matched all of those on that last drive.
Hey, great way to get your name in the books. I mean, you get your touchdown every 2 or 3 carries you have. Those are some stats I'll take. What was my guy from Tampa Bay years ago?
Mike Allstott.
Mike Allstott. There you go.
That was a lot of meat running through the line. And as we get set for this kickoff, we want to point you guys towards CBA Sports. If you're looking to get a new turf field, basketball, tennis, or multi-purpose court, CBA Sports is your sports construction specialist for both commercial and residential projects. Visit cbasports.com and contact us to discuss your next indoor or outdoor project. Again, that's cbasports.com. As jump around comes on, and that's exactly what the Spartans are doing. The kickoff team, the sideline, and Henderson puts his foot into this one, and the ball goes into the end zone for a touchback as McCaffrey opted not to field that one.
Hey, 2 out of 3 touchbacks on the night for Henderson. Henderson, he has put a foot behind. 2 out of 3 touchdowns. He has 2 field goals with room to spare. Yeah. Hey, this guy can kick.
So 13-6. Spartans lead this one. 2 field goals and a touchdown. And now Valor Christian will look to answer, starting on their own 20-I formation for the senior quarterback, Stenstrom. He looks like he's going to change the play. You mentioned he comes to the line with 3 plays. He has to dissect the defense and choose the right one. And he gives it right up the middle to Cecil. And the big fullback rumbles for 5 yards. And again, we'll have 5 or 6 new Eagles check into the game.
You know, I like it. Show the fullback some love. You know, let the fullback get a little bit of love. Let him touch the ball. Big man been blocking all night. I like to see the fullback get carries.
Cecil for the Eagles and Galloway for the Spartans. Both seeing a lot of time at fullback tonight, despite a lot of shotgun snaps. When it's smash mouth football, they go to their fullbacks to be the lead blocker. Now Cecil in the shotgun with McCaffrey at quarterback, and McCaffrey keeps it up the middle and spins off one tackler but falls down just shy of the first down marker. We'll call it 3rd and 2.
I truly believe it may be against the Valor rule book somewhere deep in their scroll, their history scroll. They cannot use the same formation 2 times in a row.
Or even the same 11 players.
Yeah. I mean, every play is a new formation. It may be a new player, new personnel in the game. Man, this is a complicated offense.
So shotgun for Stenstrom. He's got Josiah Davis next to him, and he fakes Davis. Now he's going to look to run, and he's going to have the first down. A nice quick decision there as he was brought down by the senior Carson Hoover.
And, you know, I like when you put a lot on a young quarterback shoulder. Well, he's a senior, but you put a lot on a quarterback's shoulder. What that play was, it was the read option to the tailback. It was an option to run to hand it off to the tailback, and it was an option to pass or throw for the quarterback.
And there's going to be a flag down, but the handoff goes to Floyd. Excuse me, that's not Floyd, that's Watson. And Watson is across midfield, but a flag way behind the play. Feel like it could either be an offsides or an illegal formation, so it could go either way. So we'll see if this run stands.
Yeah, that was a flag way down the field. Yeah. That's not one of those fun flags.
And I believe it was illegal substitution on GAC. They may have had too many guys on the field. But either way, Valor Christian will decline and take that big 25-yard run and move the chains and move the ball into Spartan territory.
Yeah, legal participation, too many people on the field. What happens, man, when you run those complicated offenses and you have so many people coming in and out, got to have that player personnel right. That's the negative.
And the defense has to adjust to it, and in that case, GAC didn't.
Oh, offsetting penalties. Both of them had 12 people on the field. Offsetting penalties. Okay.
So the play will stand, and we'll have a first down from the GAC 44-yard, 43-yard line. I formation. Davis behind Cecil. And And they give it to Davis up the middle, looking to bounce it to the outside. Patient and running there, but just nowhere to go for the junior Davis.
Yeah, Josiah, Joe Davis, he's over there. He had those anxious feet, those happy feet back there in the backfield. He was tap dancing. I thought he was Gregory Hines for a second in the backfield. I like my running backs to pick a hole and go.
So brings up 2nd and 9 as we're under 5.5 minutes to go before the half. Thanks for tuning in to SUVtv. I'm Ned Case alongside Sly Williams. Stenstrom in the shotgun brings Anderson in motion. He's going to look deep across the middle and in and out of the hands, or maybe in and out of the body of the intended receiver. That was number 20, Caden Keefe.
Yeah, young Caden. I think he might have felt that safety coming over the top on him. You know, he got those little bit of alligator arms that hit him in the chest and bounced around, and he actually had a second chance to catch that one too. Sometime when that safety coming over the top makes you think about it.
You don't want that second chance catching it. So Valor Christian with another 3rd and long. They've converted on a couple tonight. They come into the game converting on 64% of their 3rd down so far this season. Stenstrom rolling to his left, has a man caught and near the 30-yard line with the 1st down. I believe that was Mccaffrey. Excuse me, that was number 6, Noah Kuzma.
Noah Kuzma came in there and caught that on that crossing route. You see how he caught it with his body, reeled it in, and made sure he had it, and then he ran.
So again, a 3rd down conversion.
First job of a wide receiver is to receive it.
Sometimes it seems too simple. So I formation, McCaffrey in at quarterback will take a snap from under center. His brother Dylan, a freshman quarterback at Michigan this year. Option pitch out to Davis. Well executed. Davis on his feet. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, and finally dragged down near the 10-yard line. Looks like it'll be about the 12.
You know what I like about that, Ned? He pulled it out, a couple of tools out of the arsenal right there. He showed the nifty juke move. He also managed to lower his shoulder and pick up some extra yards. You know, he pulled out a couple of weapons out of that bag.
So Christian McCaffrey takes that snap at center, and now Stenstrom back in. Can't even always say back in at quarterback because we've seen Stenstrom already line up in a couple different spots. And as the play clock runs down, looks like Valor Christian will use one of their timeouts. And while we have a break, teams and players that look good, play good. That includes your brand off the field. Check out bowtieitup.com and get custom bow ties, neckties, and infinity scarves for your high school or team. Again, bowtieitup.com for custom bow ties, neckties, and infinity scarves. And if you're watching tonight, why not join the conversation? Be a part of the game. Tweet at SUVtv football during the game or use hashtag SUVtv football and be involved in more than just watching this game. We've got a lot of action tonight.
Hey, man, we want to talk to you guys out there, man. Let us know you're listening. We see the numbers going on. We see we got a pretty good crowd out here. A lot of people from Colorado watching online.
Absolutely. Valor Christian hailing from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. This is a home-and-home series between Valor and GAC last year. Valor walked away victorious 21-17. GAC looking to get a little redemption on their home turf. First and 10. Ball on the 11. So they can get a first down without getting a touchdown. It's going to be a quarterback draw for Stenstrom. Bounces out of the pile and dragged down by the linebacker, number 8, Carson Hoover.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't have anywhere to go inside that middle. You know, just a lot of people hanging around. It's a lot of heavyweights down there in that middle. You got to have to earn. That's tough sledding down there. Tough sledding from the guys who can actually sled. I guess they can actually sled in Colorado. We don't get much sledding down here in Georgia.
So only a 1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9. Stenstrom in the shotgun. 2 receivers at the top of the screen. That's where he's going to look. Throws the out route. Caught by Kuzma and quickly tackled on the edge. Looked like that was the safety number 14, Hunter Cole, coming over.
Hunter Cole came up to make the great open field tackle to break the breakdown on that receiver. Is a well-run out route, but Cole came up and that's that great closing speed just to close down on that receiver and stop that for a short gain.
So 3rd and 6, ball on the 7. Looks like Davis coming in motion. It's going to be a speed sweep. Now they're going to reverse it to McCaffrey, who wanted to throw to Stenstrom but didn't have him. And McCaffrey, big hit as he tried to spin. It looked like that was the senior number 77, Ford Roberts, in pursuit.
You know, they tried to put a little bit of trickeration out of the bag. But you know what, though? I wish that McCaffrey just would have tucked that one and ran, because I think he could have made it to the corner. But he wanted to set up that touchdown pass. But great job of playing disciplined football by the DBs over there for the Spartans.
And great hustle by the senior headed to Princeton. Ford Roberts, Coach Hardy said he turned down 8 Division I FBS scholarships to go play Ivy League football. I formation, 4th and short, and the whistle blows before the snap, and a timeout called by Valor.
You know what? And that's something that's not spoken about enough. This guy turned down Division I scholarships, big-time Division I programs to go and play at Princeton. Well, not go and play. Obviously, he went to go to Princeton. That's
right.
A young man with his thoughts on the future. You know, you gotta congratulate and applaud a guy like that to make a decision like that.
Coach Hardy sent 40 guys to play in college and just 6 seasons here as the GAC head coach. So not only does he prepare them to play at the next level, he seems to instill a joy for the game in them.
Yeah, it seems like, we watched their practice on Wednesday also, and it seemed like the guys were having fun, man. They enjoyed, a lot of times when you play football, it's kind of, it's like a job, It's no joy, but you can tell the guys at GAC, they enjoyed being out there. They enjoyed the coaching and the learning aspects of what was going on from Coach Hardy and his staff. Just a great thing, man. And we talked about those staffs. We'll tell you about all those Super Bowl rings on both staffs.
So coming out of the timeout, Valor Christian still going to go for it. 4th and 2, ball on the 3. They can pick up a first down without getting in the end zone. I formation, Davis behind Cecil, Stenstrom under center. He's going to throw. He's looking for Kuzma and caught. It looks like first down yardage, but not in the end zone.
You know what? That is practice right there. I talked earlier about the passing league this summer. Coach Sherman was saying that they played in the passing league in Arizona, and a lot of teams in the passing league, his goal wasn't to win the passing league. His goal was to practice what we do, and that is great communication by the wide receiver and the quarterback on that play.
Kuzma catches that back shoulder route, and Coach Sherman all the way on the field. I thought he was coming in to be part of the personnel, but he just calls a timeout with 2:05 remaining.
And I hate to harp back on this thing about passing, but what he did on that play, that was just such a heads-up, heady play. They wanted to throw a fade route. He wanted to throw it over the top to his wide receiver, but it was well covered out there by the DB. So what did the wide receiver do? He knew that he couldn't go over the top for the fade, so he stopped, put on brakes, and caught the back shoulder pass. And the quarterback knew it was coming also. That's a heads-up, headsy, well-taught. That's execution. You keep practicing. You just don't step on the field and do that.
Absolutely. And you talk about how well these guys are coached, and you just mentioned some of these guys who played in the NFL, won Super Bowls. I mean, just on the Valor staff, there's 3 Super Bowl rings over there. Flags come down as I don't believe everyone was set there for Valor Christians. They tried to snap it fast.
Tried to catch GAC sleeping, and they'll pick up a penalty on that one. And that's a heartbreaker. Anytime you got the ball 1st and goal that low, and then you get a penalty, yeah, that's a big.
Although
penalty.
It looks like that the extra point team coming on the field. We get the call from Coach Hardy, not happy, as he meets the officials out at the numbers looking for an explanation.
They just bring in a whole nother offensive unit, and it looks like the extra point team. That's just a bunch of new personnel coming in the game. They had the big boys out there, and now they're bringing in the fast guys. Man, these guys.
So it was offsides. Yep, it was offsides there on GAC. And so it's a 1-yard touchdown, and I believe it was Stenstrom who snuck that one in.
Wow, okay. Had the booth completely. They did catch him sleeping.
They absolutely did. Sorry about that confusion. We're on the other side of the field, so we're just getting our peripherals a little mixed up. But, well, now. So I guess it wasn't a touchdown, the offsides, because now Stenstrom comes out and takes a snap from the 1-yard line again, and this time he's in and no flag. So I don't know if I can tell you for sure what happened on the play before this. It was a flag. The ref indicated offsides. Coach Hardy wasn't happy. And this time Stenstrom's in for a touchdown.
They'll figure it out. Somebody will figure it out somehow.
It might not be us, but somebody will.
I guess all we know now. We do know the score is 13-13. I guess we do know.
So now the sophomore Brian Broggen on for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, and kick is through. So Broggen puts in his second extra point of the game, and Valor Christian again leads by 1, this time 14-13.
14-13, great drive, just smashing the ball straight ahead, picking up yardage. And you know, there were 2 key third down plays on, well, actually 3, if we count that fourth and short. You know, key plays on 3rd and 4th down that extended the drive and kept the drive going, man. Big time plays by a big time offense, and that's a 1-point ball game.
So now 1:56 on the clock. We'll see what GAC chooses to do here. Valor will get the ball to start the second half. So we'll see if GAC goes into their 2-minute drill. I believe they have all 3 timeouts left, and that's what the scoreboard indicates.
I think Valor shouldn't have any. I
think Valor used all 3 of theirs.
So, you know, this brings up an interesting scenario for GAC. GAC can attempt to go downfield 2 real quick times and see what happens. And if they don't, you know, they can let that clock run down some, and you let it run down.
So Broggen puts his right foot into it. McMurray fields it at the 8. This time he's straight up the middle, has a bit of a hole, breaks one arm tackle, stiff arms the next would-be tackler, and finally steps out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Trey Morrison, he just runs hard on those kickoff returns. And then I like, you know, the lost art of the stiff arm, the big man putting out the stiff arm. I love that when a youngster.
Saw a big-time stiff arm in that Patriots game last night. They'll put the defensive player through the turf.
Oh, my goodness. Plant him. Give me a stiff arm down, a planter guy.
So ball on the 35-yard line. Again, Sean Henderson, the kicker, put in 2 field goals of 50-plus yards against Westminster. So he's got leg. Let's see if Josh Rose can get them down in that range. Rose in the pocket, steps up, keeps his eyes downfield, has a man caught. Jake Floyd at the 32-yard line. And it looked like Josh Rose had room to step up and run, but he kept his eyes downfield and found the open man.
Great job by Rose of maintaining his calm and maintaining his poise. Great job by Rose. And now they're in field goal range.
Already in field goal range with 1:35 and counting on the clock. Rose takes the snap again, looking down the middle, and back shoulder intended again for Floyd, just out of reach.
Great job of coverage on the play. Who was that? I think that was 28, or not quite sure. He won't turn around. Can't catch his number. 29, Chase Lopez, leading tackler on the team.
Yep.
Great job of coverage by the sophomore DB back there.
Lopez comes into the game with 20 tackles in just 10 games. Or excuse me, 20 tackles in just 2 games, which is averaging 10 a game. And Coach Hardy's going to have to use a timeout. I don't think he's too thrilled about having to use a timeout when the clock is stopped. But he'll make sure his troops are organized as they look to get a score here and take the lead into the half.
Yeah, I think that was the case. They didn't have enough personnel on the field, and they sent a player out, and they would have got a penalty if they snapped that ball.
So this Valor Christian defense, something to keep in mind, in their first 2 games this year, haven't given up any points in the second half. So not that GAC is really thinking about that, especially the way they've been moving the ball, but this Valor Christian defense will make their adjustments at halftime. So I think it's important for GAC to get some points here before Valor Christian can make their adjustments.
Yeah, halftime, always the most important drive of the whole entire game is the first drive out of the half. You have both teams that had time to make adjustments on what the team did in the first half.
Rose throws the bubble out to Kyler McMichael, and he's down near the first down marker. It'll depend on the spot. He's about a yard short, maybe less than that.
That's a great bubble screen. That's what was working in the first quarter for him.
So quickly to the line, 3rd and short. It looks like Rose is going to keep it now, throws it out, and that was a little bit of an RPO triple option kind of look, but Rose just didn't have any time as breathing down his neck was Jaden Murray.
Yeah, Jaden Murray, the linebacker, he was there all over him, read that option perfectly, and forced the quarterback to throw it a little bit early. Great job by Murray.
And here come the big boys. Fowler, the fullback Galloway, and number 84, Jeffrey Blake. It's going to be right up the middle to Fowler, and I don't think he got it.
He did not get it.
Big time stop there by the Valor Christian defense as their coaching staff is jumping around.
I'm telling you, I don't know who's more excited, the players or the coaches, man. The coaches are getting over there, and they're getting up, man. That is a huge stop by the Valor defense.
So with 1 minute left in the half, Valor Christian gets a big-time stop on 4th and short. We'd seen that power football package for GAC had success.
My goodness, that was a huge stop. And a lot of times when it comes down to situations like this, it's who wants it more. I want it more than you want it.
So we'll see what Valor chooses to do.
You know, that was smart. What Valor did, they were going to get a penalty if they would have snapped the ball right there. But they had to go back to the huddle and break the huddle with 11 players. That was a smart play by some young kids. I don't know who called it.
And hand up the middle to Cecil, and he's tripped up there. Looked like for GAC that was number 36 in on the tackle, Michael DeWeese.
Man, that's great coaching.
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive for 17, 18-year-olds to have that football knowledge to understand that, and clearly very well coached. So I formation, Davis the deep back, keeping it is Stenstrom, and not a lot of room to go as Fowler was there first. It'll pick up a first down, but with 25 seconds left and no timeouts, I don't think Valor Christian's going to be too risky getting the ball back to start the second half.
You know, I'm an old riverboat gambler, man. I got to go down the field one time. Give me one man, give me max protection, play action pass, I formation, fake the dive left, and they're not going to do it.
Sly the sports guy, smash mouth football, and riverboat gambler.
That's who I am.
And that will take us to the half here in Norcross, Georgia at Spartan Stadium as the visiting Valor Christian Eagles from Colorado lead 14-13 over GAC.
I think we're going to go down to Marcus on the sideline. I think
looks like Marcus is going to flag down Coach Rod Sherman for a quick interview. We appreciate both these coaches giving us their time, not only this week, but during the game.
Is he after halftime?
Yeah.
They said you're after.
Hey, after, Coach, after.
And we'll send it down to Marcus now.
All right, Coach Sherman, halftime, 13-14 game. Game day is finally here. Your thoughts on the first half?
I thought we started a little bit slow, but really all the credit goes to GAC. Thought we were able to get a run game going. Unfortunately, then we let them go the length of the field, just coming right at us. So I think we're going to have to do a better job at the line of scrimmage on both sides if we want to come out with a win.
With that being said, it's a glass half empty, half full scenario. How do you feel? You're on the road. It's right there.
This is as good as it gets, man. There's nothing to be scared about. We can go out and play with reckless abandon, playing an out-of-state, unbelievable team. Shoot, what do we got to lose? Come out and play for each other this second half.
Best of luck to you in the second half, Coach. Thank you. Sending it back to you guys.
Thanks to Coach Sherman for giving us his time right there heading into the half. And Sly, if you're Coach Sherman, what are you preaching to your guys at halftime? What adjustments do you think they need to make?
You know, I'm preaching a little bit of toughness if I'm Coach Sherman, because they haven't quite got McMichael off the way you want to get McMichael off. You know, I want McMichael to establish that running game, so I'm going to need that offensive line to step up on the inside, and let's create some holes and create some lanes for McMichael on the inside. So that's what I'm telling if I'm Coach Sherman. Defense, you guys can steady the ship. You guys can keep on going the way you've been going. Just clear up a little bit of minor mistakes that gave up the touchdowns, a few breakdowns that gave up on those third and longs. But other than that, the defense is doing a pretty good job. You just need the offense to punch it in to get tough.
So a 1-point lead at the half. Two coaching staffs will head into the locker room and make their adjustments for the final 24 minutes of football. We'll be back for the second half after this on SUVtv.
This SUVtv football broadcast is brought to you by Choices to You, Food Delivery and Catering, P5 Designs, the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia, CBA Sports, and Recruit Georgia.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Check this out. Did you know that you can have all kinds of delicious food from your favorite local restaurants delivered right to your door? I know, I just blew your mind. All you have to do is go to choices2you.com. Choose from a list of great local restaurants, pick what you want right from their menu, and Choices to You will deliver it to your home or office. It's that easy. Get real restaurant food from the places you love delivered right to your door. Choices2you.com. Eat out without going out.
And welcome back to Spartan Stadium in this presentation of GAC versus Valor Christian. I'm Ned Case alongside Sly Williams, and we had a great first half, a one-point game, 14-13. And it's kind of reminiscent of the way it played out last year when these two teams met on ESPNU. That ended up in a Valor Christian 21-17 win, but it featured two of the great quarterbacks in that 2017 class, with Davis Mills heading to Stanford and Dylan McCaffrey headed to Michigan.
Yeah, you got to see two primetime quarterbacks, and tonight we get to see two more primetime quarterbacks. But last year, very reminiscent to this year. You know, we talked to Coach Sherman on Wednesday, and he during our conference call, and he was like, you know, last year he felt it could have went either way. And this year you kind of got that feeling it could go either way.
And last year, GAC traveled out west to Colorado. This year, Colorado comes east to Georgia, and they did more than just come here to play football. They flew in Wednesday morning. They came here over to GAC, had a dinner with GAC's team after GAC's practice. Then after dinner, Valor went to practice. During dinner, Coach Hart said they were going to do a little family feud, team versus team. And I believe there are a couple college teammates who were on each staff. So they were going to talk about telling some stories there. So it's competitive on the field, but it was friendly all around on Wednesday.
I'm telling you, man, you know, just to see the two teams get together in fellowship, you know, even though it's a battle out here, it goes to show, you know, good sportsmanship, good, you know, the great values that are taught by both of these schools, both of these programs, you know, the great values of community service, like tell us about some of that community service.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about, I just want to highlight something real quick that we heard from the Valor Christian coach, Coach Sherman this week. He said high school football is about building brotherhood and leaving communities better than they were, and that's exactly what Valor did. On Thursday, they went and helped out with Books for Africa, which is an organization, obviously, that gets books to Africa and to the kids out there. And that's just something going above and beyond. You know, you're not asked to do that when you come here to play football, but that's something that this Valor program, football program and school takes very important.
You know, they take very, very important. You know, I got to speak, and I hope I have his name right. I think his name was Mr. Coleman. I'm not quite sure, but he was on the board of directors, I guess, for Valor, and he made the trip out here, and he was just telling me about some of the community service projects that the school has done, that Valor has done in the past to help out. They have one of the coaches, I think, I'm not quite sure. You know, a lot of stuff is going on.
You were so concerned with that precision practice.
I'm telling you, and he was just talking to me, and he told me that one of the coaches adopted a young kid from Africa, and they had to walk actually I think it was like a 3-day trip to go to the part of Africa they had to go to adopt the kid. But, you know, that just goes to show the goodwill in the community vibes, and, you know, just the being a good guy. You know,
absolutely.
You know, what that program does. And I wish I knew the name of the coach or the parent that did it, but I don't know that name.
And then today, before the game, Valor Christian got to have a little fun and went and visited the College Football Hall of Fame here in Atlanta. And if you're in Atlanta and you haven't done that, you should. If you come visit Atlanta and you're a football fan, it's an absolutely awesome experience. They do it right down at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for all our fans over there in Colorado, if you ever make it down south and you make it to Atlanta, it's a must-see, must-stop. You have to go to the College Football Hall of Fame. It is wonderful. One thing I love about it, everybody, when you go in, you get a little card, and you can put in the name of your college. You can put in the name of your alma mater, and once you walk in, they have a wall full of helmets for every football program in the nation, and your helmet will light up when you walk in. You know, that place is wonderful, man.
They've done an awesome job with it. It's only been opened a few years here in Atlanta, and I've been more than once already. And Valor will receive the opening kickoff of the second half after the halftime festivities. Nice job by the GAC band. And Jump Around comes on, and this is what Coach Hardy talked about, the game day experience. Not only you talked about everything that was going on pregame, but the excitement on the sideline.
They are jumping around, a little bit of Cypress Hill.
So it seemed like at the end of the half, energy was starting to move towards Valor as they got the last score of the half and got a big stop late. And Luke McCaffrey will look to continue that success on this kickoff return, although he runs into a handful of red jerseys, but powers forward and gets across the 20-yard line to the 23.
All right, man, we're getting ready for this second half action, man. Let's see if we can get some more of that great first half action and bring it over to the second half. And, you know, I want to apologize. Thanks to Fred 87008520. He told me we were pronouncing Josiah Davis's name wrong. It's not Joe, it's more of
Josiah. We want to get that right because we got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of Josiah on Saturdays moving forward. The junior already with a couple commits, including the University of Colorado, but they start the second half up the middle to the fullback Cecil, and he goes nowhere. We saw a lot of carries for the fullback Easton Cecil, more than just a blocking back.
Yeah, Cecil got the ball on a couple of those option dives, and he's been picking up positive yards. You know, 2 yards here, 3, 4, maybe I think he even had a 5-yard run in there, you know. Give it to the big man. I love the fullback running the ball.
The senior quarterback, Blake Stenstrom, under center. Davis behind him, trips to the top of the screen. He's going to send a man in motion out wide. Stenstrom's looking to pass. Looks like he wants to set up the screen to Davis. He's got it. Got blockers out in front of him. Well set up in the offensive line for Valor Christian. Was way out in front of the running back as Davis picks up about 21 yards there.
Well-designed play. They faked the pass to the right, came back for the screen. Quarterback dropped back a little bit further and dumped off the screen. Beautiful. Had his big wall of linemen in front of him blocking. Great.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. 1 minute gone. Here's a throw out to McCaffrey, and he is quickly wrapped up and thrown to the ground by Kyle Ellis, the senior safety. We've called his name a handful of times already.
You know, that's one of those screen passes where you have it one-on-one. It's the DB and the receiver. One man has to win, and that time the DB won on that play.
So Stenstrom will head to the sideline, and McCaffrey will come in at quarterback. He's under center. I formation behind him, 2 receivers here to the bottom of the screen. It's going to be an option. McCaffrey keeps it now. He pitches out to Davis. Big hole out wide. A flag's going to come down. It's going to be a hold on the receiver as he tackled the corner, McMichael, to the ground. But a nice-looking option pitch, or option play, but obviously negated with this hold.
And, you know, here's one thing about the option. If one man misses an assignment on the option, you have a 20-yard run, and that's exactly what happened. But GAC, the Spartans, were lucky that time. Receiver got caught holding, got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
In his defense, it's tough to guard Kyler McMichael, the 6'1", 195-pound defensive back and running back. He's headed to play for Coach Dabo Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers next year.
Yeah, they say, you know, even though he's the running back here, but they say he'll be playing DB at Clemson. Interesting story about that young man. Last year, first time playing running back. You know, he wasn't even supposed to play running back. Somebody got hurt, so they put him in at running back, and he's almost the player of the year.
He made something out of nothing as he helped lead GAC to the state championship game where they ultimately came up just short, 30-19. Tough game as their starting quarterback went out, and John Rose had to switch from linebacker to quarterback in the middle of the state championship game. Stenstrom keeps it on a sweep, and he's tackled there short of the original line of scrimmage, brings up a 3rd and 14.
That's one of those plays where Stenstrom had one man going out on a route. It was a simple route, max protection. He didn't have anything, so he just took it and and took off running.
So shotgun formation. Stenstrom gets the Eagles to the line quickly. Now he's going to check over to the sideline. Make sure they got all their personnel right. Again, Sly talked about it. This quarterback comes to the line with 2 to 3 plays, and he's got to make a decision on which one is best. And we got official timeout. Not sure if it's a play clock issue or a game clock issue. Looks like it was a play clock issue, and they'll reset it to 25. Nice to have the electronic play clock here at Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross. Shotgun snap for Stenstrom. Straight drop back, stepping up in the pocket. He's going to look to run. He's getting chased down, makes a nice move, and he might have the first down, and he does, as Stenstrom made a really nice move, making the linebacker, DeWeese, just miss.
That's one-man effort. That's all that is. That's one man wanting it. And one thing about football, you have to want it more than the other man. And that quarterback wanted it more than the DB wanted it. Great job by Stenstrom.
And you talked about that want we saw here on the fourth down stop at the end of the half for Valor, and they're coming out with that same energy and same physical football to start this second half. 3 minutes gone on this opening drive of the third quarter for Valor Christian. It's going to be a handoff to Davis. He cuts back, spins, stays on his feet. The official almost got involved there. Wasn't sure if he was a tackler or a blocker.
Josiah Davis picking up the big run. Hey, when you pick up 10 yards of carry, we'll make sure we say your name right. We'll make sure we pronounce it right when you're picking up 10 a carry.
And coming into the game late is number 35, Jack Armstrong. He'll be at that fullback spot. McCaffrey, the quarterback, under center. We've seen Stenstrom and McCaffrey take snaps. Pitches it out to Davis. He's going to try to make a man miss. Nice job there by Fowler, forcing the ball back inside.
Yeah, great job by Fowler. One thing about football, you have to be able to make the play. Not necessarily make the tackle. You have to make the play. And what Fowler did, Fowler came up and forced Davis back inside. He didn't make the tackle, but he made the play.
Allowed all his buddies to pursue to that football. So now 2nd and 7 after that option play. Josiah Davis in the I formation behind the fullback. Cecil coming in motion. It's 44 Carlson. They're going to follow him on the run, but nowhere to go. As nice push up front from that defensive line for GAC.
You know, and that was just a great job of just closing down, looking like a Venus flytrap, just closing down on that Valor offense. Because I guess when Davis saw, when he first got the handoff, his eyes got big. He said, I might have some room. And then the next thing you know, oof, nothing but Spartans all around him.
That speed of Georgia high school team, something Coach Sherman said they certainly had to be worried about. Didn't know if they would see that kind of speed playing in Colorado this year. So they were preparing for it all weekend. Christian McCaffrey, this is a handoff to the option, pitched out to Davis, and a nice tackle on the edge. He might be just short. Trey Morrison, the senior, headed to the University of North Carolina. Shows you why there with a nice open field tackle.
And that was one time McCaffrey, his heart was in the right place, but his head wasn't in the right place. He pitched that one off after he had the first down, and he pitched it off, and they came up short on the first down right there. That one, you have to be conscious of where you are on the football field.
So a big fourth down here early in the third quarter. 6.5 minutes to go. McCaffrey under center. They've run the option out of this I formation with McCaffrey a couple times tonight. It's 4th and a long one or a short two, depending on who you're cheering for. McCaffrey keeps it, pitches out to Davis. Flag comes from the official on the far side, and we'll see what this flag will be. It's going to be a big one.
Usually if he throws that side, Judge, maybe it might have been some type of illegal motion or,
Right, we've seen that side judge throwing offsides on GAC.
Could be offsides on GAC,
So we'll see. We've guessed wrong a couple times tonight.
Yes.
We'll wait for the answer this time. It looks like the sticks are starting to move.
Yeah, I think that's going to be on GAC. No?
A sideline warning. So a sideline warning.
Okay.
So the flag comes out, but it's just a warning the first time. Next time it will be a 5-yard penalty. So first down gained.
I'm not a fan of the sideline warning.
I was calling a game last week, and I saw 6 of them. A lot of flags for the sideline.
I understand why it's there. I'm just not a fan.
So Hunter Carlson, the 6'2", 235-pound tight end will come in, and that's where Stenstrom's going to go. He's going to follow big number 44 and pick up about 4 on that quarterback keeper.
Hey, Stenstrom is feeling the leather out there. These guys from GAC, they're hitting. They're laying the leather on that quarterback out there.
A couple big hits.
I tell you.
So 2nd and 6 here. Ball just inside the 25-yard line. Empty backfield for Stenstrom. Josiah Davis, or excuse me, Josiah Davis at the top of the screen in the slot, and that's where they're going to look for the out route. And he is stuck right there. Trey Morrison driving Davis into the ground with a form tackle.
Hey, somebody in Chapel Hill is smiling right now. Somebody in Chapel Hill is happy. I'm talking about, ooh, that's one of those stick'ems, like you say on Madden football. You hit him with the hit stick. My goodness, go and lay him down, big man. Lay him down.
I thought they used to say corners didn't hit.
I'm telling you, he didn't go to the Deion Sanders School of Tackle.
So 3rd and 4, another short 3rd down here for Valor. We'll see if they try to play this as 2-down territory. Likely, depending on what happens on this 3rd down, they'll make that decision. They'd like to make it an easy one to get a 1st down. Stenstrom, play action, fake over the middle. It's caught and hit, but a 1st down. Catch by Noah Kuzma. And again, a flag comes down.
I think that may be in the area of a late hit. I think that may be a personal foul late hit. But that was still a great read by the quarter. Yep, roughing the passer.
So that'll tack on a couple yards, probably go half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, but you know what, though? That was still a great read by the quarterback, and it impresses me even more that he managed to stay in there and take the hit and give that pass off. It was a great job. You know, I'm an old defensive guy, man. I don't like the late hit. There's no such thing as a late hit on a quarterback. If he was still walking, he's available to be hit. That's how I feel. There's no such thing as a late hit on those pretty boys.
So a very impressive opening drive of the 2nd half for Valor here, as they've chewed up almost 7.5 minutes. And now with that penalty, it's 1st and goal from the 6. Valor leads 14-13. Got the last touchdown of the half to take the lead back, and then got a big 4th down stop late in the 2nd quarter to prevent GAC from getting some points before the half. Now they're continuing their momentum with this drive. I formation, 2 receivers at the top of the screen. One of them's Carlson. We've seen him come in motion to block. It looks like he's going to do that again. They give it to Davis and nowhere to go. Great play from the linebacker. And I got to see who that was, because I believe it was Carson Hoover. Nope, it was Fowler. Shocker.
Yeah, Fowler came in there, and Fowler laid first contact. Jeffrey Blake came over the top to clean it up. Great job, great goal line defense by this GAC Spartan team. You know, big-time players step up at big-time moments.
And holding this Eagle offense to 3 right here would be big for GAC. Give them a little spark here. Carlson in motion again. It's play action, fake Stenstrom rolling, has got somebody in the back of the end zone and just over the head of his intended target, Ben Anderson. We saw Anderson with the catch earlier. Anderson comes into the game, 9 receptions on 11 targets. So he's a favorite, a target, and he's usually catching the football when it goes near him.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with when you're down in the end zone, you're on the goal line right there, get into that big tight end, get into that big target out there. He tried to go to him, but it was just a little bit too tall for him.
Anderson, the senior, 6'4", 230. He's a tight end at the top of the screen. Looks like he's going to be covered by a linebacker. We'll see if they look to go there on 3rd and goal. Ball on the 8-yard line. Stenstrom looking to his left. Now he's scrambling, got a little pressure. He's going to throw the corner of the end zone. Caught, touchdown. Guess who? Luke McCaffrey. We knew we'd hear his name in the end zone at least once tonight.
And Luke started on the other side of the field. He rolled across. It was just a simple crossing route coming all the way across, and he was on the back line of the end zone. The back line of the end zone, and he comes across, and he gets his hand up underneath the ball. You saw that replay. He got his hand just underneath the ball and cradled that thing in there, man. Hey, somebody might have taught this kid how to play receiver.
And Broggen, it's a short kick, but it's through. And that'll make it 21-13 as Valor Christian. And I got to know, Sly, what was more impressive, that catch or a 8+ minute drive to start the 3rd quarter?
One of the keys of the game, control the tempo, control the clock. I was always taught that the most important possession of the game is the first drive out of the half. And that is how you drive out of the half. I'm talking about drive. The sponsor of the night game, I guess the presenting sponsor for the stadium was a car dealership. I don't want to say their name because they didn't pay us any money to be a sponsor. But my goodness, that was a drive. You went down the field and drove. You could go to that dealership and buy a car. That's a drive down the field. Goodness.
So that'll be a 8-minute and 17-second drive, if I did that math correct, and it covered 80 yards and ended with an 8-yard pass from Stenstrom to Luke McCaffrey and gives Valor the 8-point lead. Broggen with the right-footed kickoff. He's going to kick it in the direction of McMichael, who fields it at the 10-yard line. Sweeping across, he stiff arms one, across the 30, across the 35. And GAC's had a couple nice returns, and that's something Coach Hardy talked about, were those hidden yards and special teams making a difference.
That's a great term, man. Hidden yards, because nobody counts on them. Those special teams, you're supposed to get the ball at the 20 and start from there. But anything you pick up after the 20, hidden yards. I'm stealing that one. That's my saying now, hidden yards. I like that.
So 15 hidden yards on that one as McMichael shows off his speed running from one side of the field to the other. So now Josh Rose in this offense might have had to stretch again after being on the bench for 8 minutes there because of that drive, and they're going to start off with a handoff to the sophomore, number 6, Monte Bailey. He's going to pick up about 2.
Nice run by Bailey. Bailey had some impressive impressive runs, the young sophomore in there, and he had that one play where you say he stuck his foot in the ground. Oh my goodness, I like that. He stuck his foot in the ground and turned upfield.
So now Rose in the shotgun. He's got Bailey to his right, 2 receivers to each side. It's going to go again to Bailey, and again, not a lot of room, picks up about 2 there. So it brings up a 3rd and long, and I think this is a big play here. You don't want to have to send your defense right back on the field.
Nah, you want that defense to get a blow. You want them to get a rest because they were on the field for 8 minutes of game time action and probably 15 minutes or 20 minutes, 25 minutes of real time action. Maybe 20 minutes, not 25. That's a lot.
So again, shotgun snap, 2 receivers each side. Rose is going to throw the out route and caught but hit right away. Number 3 for the Eagles delivering the hit. That was Jaden Watson.
You know what? The cornerback play for both of these teams have been impressive. And I'm talking about cornerbacks coming upfield and closing in on the receivers and making single tackles, man. That is impressive on any level of football when you have a cornerback who can close like that and make a tackle just all by a lonesome.
Yeah, haven't seen a lot of those yaks, yards after catch. Those corners are coming up and hitting right away. So a punt here. Henderson will boot this one away to McCaffrey, who stands on his own 24-yard line. And a nice high spiral that McCaffrey will field at the 20, fair catch. Excuse me, that wasn't McCaffrey. That was Noah Kuzma on the fair catch. And for the second drive in a row, they'll start at the 20.
That was a beautiful punt back there. I don't care who you had back there receiving. You could have had Dante Hall back there receiving, You could have had Dion back there receiving. Whoever receiving that, they were going nowhere. That was a beautiful punt. It was high and it was long.
Nice, and a nice spiral that if it wasn't caught, was probably going to bounce your way.
I'm telling you, man, that was a beautiful punt. I thought I was out there kicking. That was a good kick. Let me give a shout out to our listeners. Who we have? Chuck Sullivan out there tweeting me. We had Diana. Was it? Diana gave us a tweet. Can't pronounce her name.
Well, if you want a little shout out and get involved in the action, talk to us. Tweet at SUVtv during today's game, or use the hashtag SUVtv football, and we'll find you. And we do have a flag down here as the officials huddle near midfield.
Right on cue. We got somebody. I thought all our listeners came from. We're coming from Colorado when we looked it up online, but we got a guy in New York City listening to us. Drew Hills.
All right. Appreciate the listen, Drew.
Out of New York City. giving us a listen. Man, hey, we like you guys checking out SUVtv. SUVtv, we bring you some of the most exciting high school sporting events in the nation. Right now it's football season. We're bringing you great football. Come basketball, we're going to bring you super basketball.
All over the place.
All over the place in basketball. We're talking about national tournaments, the Holiday Hoops Giving Tournament, flying to the hoop out of Ohio. SUVtv brings you the most exciting stuff. Even lacrosse.
Lacrosse Fire TV, one of the many branches.
Lacrosse Fire TV, we're bringing it to you all on SUVtv. Make sure you check us out. Go to the website, www.thesuvtv, and tell them I deserve a raise. Make sure we tweet that out.
So the officials conference at midfield with the flag, and the possession still starts at the 20-yard line. Low snap to McCaffrey's handled and hit right away. Looked like getting in the backfield quickly was the senior Scott Thomas.
Hey, Scott Thomas, that's a big-time senior play right there. That's a play where you watch film and you know what's coming. He read that play beautifully. That's what you expect out of your seniors.
And they need that energy play, a long drive for Valor. That resulted in a touchdown to start this quarter. Then a 3-and-out for the GAC offense. Has this Spartans defense back on the field. They need to make a stop here. Anderson comes in motion. Now it's going to be 3 receiver, and a flag is down. And it's going to be a false start. So one of those linemen might have just gotten a little off balance there.
You know, that's one of the things where you have these moving offenses where you have people moving and going in motion. Sometimes those big heavies down on that offensive line, they get restless. They want to move a little bit too much. You know, hey, sometimes you just got to snap that thing and let the big boys go.
So 2nd and 15. Shotgun snap for Stenstrom. Blake Stenstrom, the senior quarterback for Valor Christian. He's going to throw it out to Josiah Davis, who makes one man miss and is pushed out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Looks like the officials got him spotted at the 28. And do we have a player down? Nope, popping up quickly. It's one of the Spartans linebackers. Looks like it's number 8, Carson Hoover. And as he drinks some water and get some attention from the training staff, looks like it may just be a cramp, so we'll see Hoover back in soon.
Hoover's a tough guy. One time I saw Hoover go in the woods with a bear. I felt sorry for the bear.
So 3rd and 4 here. This Spartans crowd making noise, loudest we've heard them all night, looking for a big stop out of their defense. Fowler blitzes. He gets through, hits Stenstrom as he releases the pass, and was that caught? Almost. Oh, impressive one-handed catch. As Robbie Fowler came through on the blitz, was stopped initially, and then squeaked through to deliver the hit on Stenstrom as he tried to release that ball.
I'm telling you, great pressure from the defensive front on the Spartan side, man. These guys were giving pressure on that rollout pass, and it forced the bad pass. Great job. Way to step up after giving up that long drive to start it off. Way to step up by that Spartan defense.
So the punt team comes on, as it looks like Stenstrom is the punter here. It's the 2nd different punter we've seen for Valor. See if there's any trickeration here. There's not. It's blocked again. 2nd block for GAC. This one could get scooped up and scored. Fowler picks it up, and he's tackled, thrown out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. And a flag is down at the 15-yard line where the punt was blocked. We'll have to see what that flag is going to be.
Oh, and they're going to wave it off, I think. I think the referee might have called it roughing, but he's waving it off.
He waves the flag and indicates it was tipped off the punter's foot. And so 2 punts for Valor and 2 block punts for GAC has energy back in this stadium.
I'm telling you, here we go again. And once again, that is, anytime you have a block punt, that is coaching. You know, true, you want to give it up to your athletes and say, yeah, okay, my players are great players, but that's coaching, man. Coaching called that punt block to go there, and to pick that up and to realize that little three little piggies up front, and to split through that thing and block it, that's great coaching.
So now a much shorter field for the Spartans to work with, and it looks like it's Jackson Hardy in at quarterback, the sophomore. He's going to play action fake and almost throws it right to the linebacker, and a flag comes in late. as it might have been a hold or a late hit.
And you know what I love? The linebacker, he got who is that? It was Monte Bailey? No, that wasn't Monte. I'm sorry, Noah Kuzma. He got up holding his hands. I'm like, who, me? Who? Was it on me? I was like, yeah, Mr. Kuzma, you're the only one there. You can't sit on the guy's back while they're throwing the ball. So, yeah, that was on you.
So we saw Jackson Hardy take a handful of snaps at quarterback for the Spartans in practice.
In practice, we did.
And now we see him get his first snap in the game here. Hardy comes into the game 6 of 7 for 101 yards and a touchdown. So he's seen some time, but mostly late in games.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? Like you were saying, in practice, we watched him practice, and it looked like he ran with the first team a lot on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
He ran with them a lot. I think Rose. Did he have?
I believe he had his oblique was a little sore, and so we see Rose down on the field. He's not with the training staff, so don't know if it's different personnel or if an injury may have flared up here. But Jackson Hardy, the sophomore and son of head coach Tim Hardy, comes into the game, and I believe they picked up that flag because it was 2nd and 10 here.
Yeah, they
and now it'll be 3rd and 12 after a 2-yard loss there.
Wow, I thought for sure that was pass interference.
It looked like it to me. No. But the only thing I could think of is I believe it was Boglin tipped the pass. So maybe they say the tip happened before the interference.
True. Okay.
So it may have been a flag picked up like we saw on that punt. So now Hardy's going to have to throw for it. Over the middle, intended for Morrison. He's got it. Touchdown. Jackson Hardy, the sophomore backup quarterback, comes in the game and throws for a huge touchdown. And Coach Hardy's holding up 2 fingers. They're going to go for 2 right now.
I'm telling you, man, Hardy just threw a bullet in there. I'm talking about a well-placed pass. You know, I didn't know much about Hardy coming into this game, but he's one of those guys, when he gets off the bus, he looks the part. He's 6'4", 200-something pounds. He looks like a quarterback, and I'm telling you, he threw that thing like a quarterback. He threw it in there hard. You know, you get a lot of kids who look like Tarzan and run like Jane. That guy, man, he did it. He looked like Tarzan and threw like Tarzan.
So a big 2-point conversion looking to tie it up. Morrison comes in motion. Hardy keeps it up the middle and nowhere to go as he ran right into big number 44, Hunter Carlson. So it stays a 2-point game with 1 second remaining on the clock here in the 3rd quarter, but life for GAC in this 3rd quarter when it looked like they might not have any.
I'm telling you, man. You know, it looked like this game was going to slowly slink away, but GAC, the Spartans, still had fight in them. They weren't going down, not on my home field. I'm not going to go down like that on my home field. And they fought down the field after that block punt and picked up a touchdown.
Yep.
You know, in a contrast to earlier in the game when they had great field position, they had to settle for field goals.
Yep.
Now they're putting it in the end zone.
Absolutely. A blocked punt in the 1st quarter gave GAC the ball on the 6-yard line, but they couldn't punch it in and had to settle for a field goal there. This time, the backup quarterback, Jackson Hardy, comes into the game. Incompletion on 1st down, loss of 2-yard on a run on 2nd down, and then he just steps up and from 20 yards out rips a bullet to the senior Morrison. Now the kick, and take a wild guess, it's going to be a touchback from Henderson.
You know, that's one of those touchdown, energized. You get energized after you score the touchdown and you kick that thing deep in the end zone, man. That's one of those touchdowns just get the whole crowd up and moving, get your blood circulating real good.
And it started with special teams play, blocking the punt and flipping the field.
You know, they say that's the 3rd part of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. Old Frank Beamer, most important part of the game, special teams, Beamer ball.
So 1 second left here in the 3rd quarter. Barring a penalty, it should be our last play of the quarter. Stenstrom is going to keep it after he fakes it to McCaffrey and goes up the middle. And not a lot of room, but powered forward for about 4, and a late flag comes in as Kyler McMichael just gives it right back. You know, a little bit of a silly play there by McMichael. He knew he'd drawn the flag and just clapped in the guy's face, and he got his own flag.
You know, not intelligent at all. That's just not using. This is not using your good sense right there. Right. You picked up, you know, you stopped the guy. He had maybe a a 2-yard gain on the play. You're about to go into the fourth quarter, and now you're just going to give them 15 free yards, man. You got, I used to, Coach Mackey used to say this is a thinking man's game. True, you can be big, you can be strong, you can be fast, but you have to be able to think. Play football, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the world. You don't have too many Mensa candidates out here playing football, but you have to be able to think when you play this game.
And so the officials will converse. We'll let you know what these flags are when we get back for the fourth quarter of action here on SUVtv. We'll be right back after this.
This SUVtv football broadcast is brought to you by Choices to You, Food Delivery and Catering, P5 Designs, the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia, CBA Sports, and Recruit Georgia.
I got a high ankle sprain going for a rebound.
Injuries are part of playing.
I got hit catching a pass and broke my collarbone.
So it's good to know that the sports medicine doctors, therapists, and athletic trainers at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta are experts at treating young athletes. If your child suffers any kind of sports-related injury,
I got hit and dislocated my shoulder.
bring him to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
Character, skill development, and exposure are just as important to coaches as they are to players. Join the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia today by going to www.mcaofga.com. Again, that's www.mcaofga.com. And so, as promised, we'll let you know what those flags were. They were offsetting penalties, as it looked like Kyler McMichael and Brandon Smith got into a little bit of war of words and maybe a friendly hug, we'll say, after the play there.
They were just talking to each other. They wanted to figure out what was going on after the game. What's the best place to go and eat. Where do you go on a Friday night in Gwinnett County. Just talking to each other, that's all.
So 2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. The tight end Anderson comes in motion. Stenstrom takes a snap, drops straight, back pressure in his face, avoids the sack, now dumps it off to Davis, and Davis is wrestled out of bounds by number 27, Cole Jolly. Robbie Fowler was right in the backfield, but Stenstrom shook off the sack.
Stenstrom impresses me more and more. Just every play, every time I see him, it's just more and more. He has so many. His arsenal is so big. I love how he stood and just shook off that linebacker and kept his composure.
So 3rd and short, Luke McCaffrey. Oh, excuse me, no, that is Stenstrom at quarterback. I formation behind him. Davis, the deep back, keeps it, pitches it out to Davis. Morrison's there to hit him, and he sticks him, and a flag comes in. I think it's going to be a block in the back. Trey Morrison making some big-time plays here in the second half.
Trey Morrison is showing why he's a D1 recruit. He is showing. He was held on that play. The wide receiver had an armful of jersey, and he hit him in the back. And Trey Morrison still made that tackle in the backfield to stop that first down. Man, that's a huge play by that kid.
Morrison had a big-time interception in the state championship game last year in the second half. Allowed GAC to fight and get back in that game. Ultimately, they came up just a little bit short, so it'll bring up 4th down. GAC celebrating their 50th year as a school this year. As a football program, they've had 27 years, and the last 3 years very successful. 2 trips to the state championship game, 1 to the semifinal. However, still looking to claim their first state title. Valor, on the other hand, has 7 state titles in just 10 years of varsity football. The school opened in 2007, their first year of varsity football, 2008, and 7 state championships, 4 in Class 5A, 2 in Class 4A, and 1 in Class 3A, all out in Colorado.
It's a prerequisite that every kid who goes to plays for Valor gets a state championship.
So a punt, and this one not blocked, as Cecil A wobbling kick is fielded by Max Burke at the 35-yard line. And he's going to be tackled out about the 41. And I'm looking for a flag. Do we have one?
Nah, I didn't see the.
Don't see a flag there.
Didn't see a flag. didn't see a flag on that play. Good return by the young man to make something a little bit positive come out. Pick up some yardage on that rugby-style kick.
And Josh Rose checks back in the game at quarterback, the junior, after was sitting out the last series for Jackson Hardy. So maybe Coach Hardy's just throwing a little bit of a wrinkle at Valor. Play action fake. Rose rolling, sets his feet, throws it deep, got a man, it's Morrison! Ooh. And just off his fingertips. And what a throw by Rose, showing off the arm strength. Put that one 40 yards right on target.
And what was even more impressive by that, he got hit when he threw that pass. I'm talking about he got a Valor player got up close and personal in his face of Josh Rose when he threw that pass, but he still managed to throw that thing 40 in the air.
And nice defense there by the senior Ryan Tebow, 6'3", 190. That's a big corner to be throwing at. So I formation, Kyler McMichael gets the handoff looking for a little bit of room, and he doesn't have any as he's wrapped up by the legs by number 26 for the Eagles, Matthew Tebow.
Matthew Tebow. Anytime a tackle is being made, let's just say Tebow.
Yes.
Let's just say Tebow, and we'll probably be right.
So a 3rd and 8 here for GAC. 10.5 minutes and counting on the clock here in the fourth quarter. The Spartans trail by 2. Scored a touchdown on their last drive. Tried to tie it up the 2-point conversion. Didn't get it. So Rose is going to throw. He sets pressure in his face right away, and he had nowhere to go. Is getting there. First looked like Peyton Polson, but there were a handful of guys who got in on that one.
A lot of people got there, but Peyton Polson led the charge. Who was that? Followed by Hunter Carlson, the other senior linebacker. He was there. You know, everybody decided to have a meeting at the quarterback.
And a great time to dial up the blitz there on 3rd and long.
That's one of those times the quarterback goes and looks at his offensive line and says, hey, guy, what, I owe you some money or something? What's wrong? What, you mad at me?
So now Henderson will come on to punt. Had a nice punt last time. High looping snap, gets back to him. And a deep punt backs up.
You know,
Kuzma.
Henderson is a weapon. He's a weapon. Not only can he kick that field goal, he said, 50 yards?
Yep.
He had 2 50-yarders. You know, his kickoffs, he's kicking them in the end zone. And his punt, you're getting no returns on his punt, man. Henderson is a weapon. He changes the side of the field for you. He is a great weapon that you don't usually have in high school.
That was almost a 40-yard punt, which is on par with his average.
And, you know, I think they should always count. It's 40 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Right, yeah.
You know, he kicked it from 12
Cheats him out of 10, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll give him 50 on that one.
Give him his extra yardage, stat keeper people.
Carlson comes in motion, I formation, handoff to Davis. He's got room up the middle. And picks up 6 there. So we'll see. We talked about early in the game there wasn't a lot of room in the middle. We thought maybe an offensive line would wear down the other. Weren't sure which one. And this is a great opportunity for this Valor front 5 to impose their will.
Now we'll see what they're made of. You know, they had that big 8-minute or, you know, drive in the first half. If they put another one of those to give, it's game over.
So 2nd and 5. Blake Stenstrom, the senior quarterback in the shotgun. He's going to look to his left, throws it short to his big tight end, Ben Anderson, who picks up the first down.
Ben Anderson, a senior, 6'4", 230. Young man has a couple of Division I AA offers. You know, people recruiting this guy. He's a big target, soft hands across the middle, man. He can play next year. He'll definitely play somewhere next year.
He did a nice job using his body to box out the linebacker on that one. So McCaffrey in it, quarterback in the eye. They're going to run the option. It's going to be a dive up the middle to Cecil. He's got room. And that's a play that McCaffrey has kept almost every time they've run it. This time gives it to Cecil, and somebody might have been having their eyes on the wrong guy.
You know how I feel about rewarding the fullback. You know I like to see the big man rumble. Give it to the big man. Let him rumble and bumble down the field. So and now it's time for GAC. Somebody has to step up and make a play. They're coming straight at you.
1st and 10. McCaffrey under center. And there's a play to be made. Pitch out wide. McCaffrey tried to make something out of nothing, but there was nothing to be had there as Kyle Ellis came up and blew up Davis. Great pressure up front by the defensive line.
You know, I think I may be a soothsayer. How come I wasn't this good when the lottery was up to $1 billion, man? How come I couldn't call him that good that night? My goodness. Hey, somebody from GAC had to step up and make a play, and that is a big-time way to make a play.
So brings up a 2nd and 12 here. Stenstrom back in at quarterback, 3 down linemen for GAC. Stenstrom looks to his right. Looked like he wants to go deep. Now he's going to tuck it. Now he does go deep to Davis. He's got a man wide open. Davis is going to scoot in for a 2nd touchdown of the game. Stenstrom came dangerously close to crossing the line of scrimmage, but didn't.
You know what? That is quarterback play. That is just quarterback play. A lot of people feel that if you're a scrambling quarterback, you need to get outside and run around and make something happen. He rolled around and he stepped up inside the pocket and he kept his running back going. That's the old scramble drill for your receivers. If you're running long, you break it off short, and if you're going short, you go long. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And that's the 2nd as the extra point. Looks like it snuck through that upright, and it did. So that'll make the score 28-19. Valor leads, and that's the 2nd time Davis, his first touchdown was a 32-yard reception, but it was the same kind of play where it looked like Stenstrom was going to tuck in and run, and Davis broke his route deep.
You know, that is big time, man. You know, and that's one of those things we talked about earlier, passing league. You know, when I talked to Coach Sherman on Wednesday, he said, yeah, true, we play in passing leagues, but we don't normally win in passing leagues because we don't go and do schoolyard or backyard plays.
Yep.
We only do the plays that we're going to use in the game. And you can tell. You can tell this kid is a crisp passer. And he didn't even start last year.
Yeah.
He didn't start last year and got a concussion his first game. His first start ever, he gets knocked out the game.
Well, and you mentioned he didn't start last year, but he's already committed to play. So clearly, these coaches see what the kind of quarterback he can be.
I'm telling you, man, that's something special right there. That kid is something special, and I'm talking about he is just truly impressive when it comes to being a quarterback.
Broggen kicks this one deep and out of bounds, so GAC will get nice starting field position. And before we start this drive, we want to let the viewers at home know that the BowTiedUp.com initiative promotes character building, branding, and fundraising for high schools and their teams. Visit BowTiedUp.com to learn more. So that kickoff went out of bounds, and GAC will start with the ball on the 35-yard line. Josh Rose back in at quarterback, and he's going to be joined with the running back, Monte Bailey. Trips to the bottom of the screen, single receiver to the top. It's going to be a quick bubble out to Floyd. He's got good blocking out in front of him by the receivers, and Floyd quickly gets up near midfield, and the officials say stepped out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
You know, once again, I'm going to give that up to Ryan Milovich.
Milovich. Yep.
Milovich. Hey, great job of blocking downfield by that young man to keep that play going.
So they're going to go quickly as they need to, down by 9. Rose, and that pass was tipped. A flag comes in on the line of scrimmage. And going back to Milovich's blocking, you know, we've mentioned his blocking ability a couple times. He hasn't been targeted once, but there's a reason he's on the field almost every snap.
Exactly, man. You need to have a guy you can depend on. True enough, wide receiver means receive the ball, but you have to do other things. You know, you got to be a blocker. You got to be a team player. And that's just really big with him stepping up like that and making that block. Now, I don't know what this penalty is.
It was on GAC. I missed the indication, but it will back GAC. Oh, there it is. So it was an illegal shift on GAC, and it's declined. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Coach Sherman didn't take the yards. He'd rather take the down.
Down. He must trust in his defense. Rose hands off to Monte Bailey. Spin move allows him to pick up an extra 3 or 4 yards, bringing up a 3rd and 4.
You know, Bailey, the young sophomore, getting in there, spinning and whirling and Durbin, picking up some yardage. You know, he got close. He got, 6 yards on that play?
Yep. And you talk about McMichael kind of got thrown into that running back spot last year. Bailey seems a little more comfortable as a true running back, reading holes, being patient with his blockers, and that's why he's getting on the field right now. They're going to set up a screen to him. He's got it, and he's patiently waiting for his blockers to get him a 1st down.
And you know what? I might be that jinx. I might be the jinx because soon as I called out the young man on his good block and he missed the block, that would have sprung him open for that touchdown. But that screen is just so hard because you have to block downfield so long if you're that receiver. So it's kind of hard to maintain that man in front of you on that block. But it's still a big pickup for a 1st down for the Spartans.
So they get the chains moving now at the 40-yard line of Valor. Rose back, some pressure comes. It's picked up. Trey Morrison over the middle. Caught and cut down. Looked like that was number 3, Jaden Watson, in on the tackle.
Trey Morrison coming across the middle, catching it. You know, hey, I love a receiver who can go across the middle. He's not worried about those linebackers or those safeties. He caught it with his hands and kept it moving.
So quickly, Rose keeps looking to throw it away and doesn't have anywhere to go. Might have been better off throwing that one away, but he'll take the sack and lose about 3.
Yeah, on that one, Rose has to step up and he has to realize he has to get rid of that ball. Because 2 things. He took a loss on the play and the clock is still going.
Yep.
Got to get rid of that ball.
And we've passed the halfway mark here, the 4th quarter. GAC trailing by 9. They're going to need 2 scores. Rose rolling to his left. Looking, throws it to Flood, who catches it near the 30-yard line. And the official on the far side has him spotted for a 1st. And as does the official on the near side. They'll move the chains.
That's a great job. Great job. And in high school, you know, he did get out of bounds, so the clock will stop. But in high school, if you get a 1st down, the clock stops in high school. But great job by the quarterback and the receiver. Pick up that 1st down and stop the clock.
So under 5.5 to go here. And Rose will be in the gun, 2 receivers to each side. Rose, bubble screen. That one looked like he never had it clean in his hand.
Tried to throw the bubble screen over the top. Didn't quite complete on that one right there, but that'll stop the clock, and we'll keep things moving. 2nd and 10, and see what Coach Hardy pulls out of his sack right now for this GAC offense.
So 2nd and 10, Rose in the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers at the top of the screen. He wants to throw the slant. He got his man, and right off the hands of the intended receiver, Ty James. Probably would have been 1st down yardage.
1st down yardage. I'm talking about he hit him in the absolute worst possible place you can hit him. He hit him in the hands. Dead in the hands. You go back, I'm telling you, you go back to the huddle. It's a good thing they don't huddle up. Because you go back to the huddle and you just have a long stare at your receiver after he does something like that. Now that's a tough one.
Rose looking for the slant, has Floyd, and again another drop. 2nd pass Rose has delivered on the spot, and the receivers couldn't quite handle.
Somebody needs to check that ball. You may have some Pam on that ball. That ball's a little slippery out there for the Spartans. I'm telling you, that's one you do not win and influence friends by doing that one right there, dropping that ball as it hits your hand. And now this is a big-time decision for Coach Hardy right here. This is a big-time decision. It's 4th and 10, ball on the 31-yard line. You have a field goal kicker who can hit this. If he kicks the field goal, it's a 6-point game. 6-point game with 5 minutes left. If you can hold them, you can drive down the field and win the game. So do you kick the field goal or do you go for it?
That's what they're going to have to discuss. And to your point, if you go for it, don't get it, the game's almost out of reach. So we'll see what Coach Hardy decides. And while we have a momentary break in the action, we want to let you guys know that join the Minority Coaches Association of Georgia for a pipeline of clinics, camps, and special events. Membership for the entire 2017-2018 season is $60 per coach. Sign up today at www.mcaofga.com. And it looks like Coach Hardy's made the decision to go ahead and get some points right now, which is probably a smart decision with 5 minutes left. And the kicker's got a strong leg, but this will be from 48 yards.
Now be careful. They had a man just run in.
Low snap is well handled, and it's pushed wide. So the low snap may have affected that. It was well handled by the holder, Floyd, but just a little bit right, that field goal attempt.
Hey, man, you got to give it up for Jake Floyd. Jake Floyd did a great job of picking that up and putting it down. But, you know, once again, kicking is all about rhythm.
Yep.
It's all about rhythm. And the kicker, he had to kind of stutter step as he went through it, and he kind of short-legged it. But still, he still had the distance.
Yeah, no doubt.
He short-legged it and still had the distance. I mean, let's look at some of those stats from Valor to start this thing off. Wait a minute, they put the ball inside of the 20.
Yeah, so I believe GHSA rules, if you miss it outside the 20, then they start on the 20. So it's almost like, you know, not punishing you for kicking a long field goal.
Exactly, rewards you for kicking that long field goal. You know, look at some of these stats, 192 yards, 13 of 19 passing. How many touchdowns did he have through the air?
He's got 2 through the air, both to Davis, and he has a run as well from a yard out.
Davis has 15 rushes for 62 yards, 6 reception, 120 yards.
And 2 TDs on top of that.
2 TDs. Impressive game on that Valor offense.
So Davis on his 16th run of the game gets right back to the line of scrimmage, and now a little bit of confusion. And we may have a timeout here from Valor, and we will.
Yeah, that's one of the things, you know, you run so many different formations and so many different personnel packages. You know, you're bound to have some confusion and blow a timeout here and there.
And a smart timeout if you're Coach Sherman. With this lead and short time, you don't want a silly turnover deep in your own territory.
Exactly. You don't want to risk anything when you have a lead. You know, it's a 9-point game, 4.5 minutes to go. The game is still, mathematically, you still have a chance if you're the Spartans. Because if you force a turnover right here, quick score, you're still in this thing. You're still here. And especially with that weapon you have as a kicker.
Right, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. You could get an onside kick and get to the 40 and be in range.
Exactly. So, Valor, don't warm up the fat lady yet.
And looking back, you know, Coach Hardy opted to go for that 2-point conversion after that touchdown. They didn't get it. It's now a 9-point game. Had they kicked the extra point, would have been an 8-point game. Obviously, hindsight's always going to be 20/20.
Hindsight is 20/20. That's why we're up here in the booth. We can make those calls.
So I formation. Davis, the deep back. He's going to take the handoff from McCaffrey. He's got room. He's going to wiggle near the first down. Has a nice first down. That was a very impressive run by the junior Davis.
And you know what makes it even more impressive? He was headed toward the sideline, and he cut back inside. He didn't want to – well, the clock's going to stop on the first down anyway, but once they reset the chain, the clock will start moving. That was a heads-up play by that running back, and he's just a junior. He's still learning on the job.
Josiah Davis has started since his freshman year here at Valor, and although you may hear of other freshmen starting in high school football, not a lot of them start for teams that have won 7 state championships. And a whistle, flag comes in, likely a false start.
You know, freshman running backs who start in high school reminds me of my favorite story. A young guy by the name of Marcus Lattimore played for the University of South Carolina. He was the state of South Carolina's all-time leading rusher. He went to a high school called Burns High School right outside of Spartanburg in Duncan, South Carolina. Burns was a USA Today top 25 program always undefeated, always there. They ran the spread offense. Marcus Lattimore's freshman year, he rushed for 200 yards the first game, and they ran the I formation the second game.
Difference makers, and that's what Davis has been as McCaffrey keeps it. He's got room. If he can beat the safety, he might have scored, but a nice tackle by the safety, Hunter Cole.
The good old-fashioned triple option. Somewhere Barry Switzer is sitting down happy. Somewhere Lou Holtz is smiling his behind off. Somewhere out there,
Paul Johnson right now.
Paul Johnson is turning a flip. The triple option. It is a lost art form, but the thing about the triple option, if one guy misses an assignment, that's what happens.
And we saw it right there. McCaffrey ripped off a 20-yard run before the safety, Cole, finally dragged him down. Now almost 9 in the box for GAC as they're determined to stop the run. Davis almost lost his footing, and good pursuit from the backside, but Davis just won't go down. He might have picked up yards on that run.
You got to give it up for Davis for making it back to the line of scrimmage, because I thought that turf monster reached up and grabbed him, but he still managed to fight forward and get back to the line of scrimmage. Tough running by that young man.
Picks up 2 yards there, so it brings up 2nd and 8 as we're under 3 minutes to go here. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. GAC really probably needing to stop on this set of downs if they want to have an opportunity to get back in this one. And that looked like it was going to be illegal motion. Had a couple guys moving there.
Yep.
That would be a false start.
False start. You know, good thing now, the clock stops. They move the ball back, and the clock stops. 2 minutes and just under 30 seconds to go. Valor, you're not quite out of the woods yet. GAC still has 2 timeouts. And this Spartan defense, they're not quitting. They're not giving an inch. They're still fighting hard. Hey, this game isn't over yet.
So now Stenstrom in the Eagle offense will move into the shotgun. Getting behind the chains, bringing up 2nd 14. Coach Sherman trying to get everyone's attention. Getting his receiver to step on. There it is. He didn't run. Uh-oh! Snap goes behind Stenstrom, and he's just going to have to fall on it. Coach Hardy's going to use a timeout. So that might be the break that GAC needs.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? It's not done yet. This is football.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen in football. These guys heading to the exit. Slow down. Slow down. You might lose a good seat.
And that looked to be confusion from the beginning as the coaching staff was trying to get one of the receivers to step on the line. It looked like Stenstrom was making sure he was stepping on the line when the snap came, and all kinds of confusion. And Coach Hardy immediately used his timeout after that. And both clocks now read 1:55.
And GAC will call the timeout. It's 1:55. It's a 9-point ball game.
And we'll get back to the action here in a second. But first, we want to let you viewers at home know that Choices to You brings several restaurants and meals of your choice right to your home, business, or school. Use promo code SUVChoices to get $5 off your order. Again, to get $5 off your order from choicestoyou.com, use the promo code SUVChoices, and you can just sit at home, watch football, and have food delivered right to your door.
I'm telling you, man, weekends coming up, it's football time, man. You don't even have to, that's the great thing about Choices. You don't even have to go anywhere. They'll bring the food to you. They'll pick your restaurant, your favorite restaurant, and bring the food to you. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it.
And use that promo code SUVChoices for $5 off. So let's see if I can do some math here. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 3rd and 30 here for Valor.
You could have added that on your own and just do what I do. Look at the scoreboard. Let somebody else do the heavy lifting. Let the other guys do the heavy lifting. Come on.
Just wanted the viewers at home to know I knew my 5s.
There you go. He can't count by 5. He did pass the 3rd grade.
So what are we going to see here, Sly? Probably something conservative, a draw.
Something simple. Run a draw straight up the middle. Keep the clock running.
Uh-oh. Movement. Back him up 5.
You know, you're going the wrong way if you're Valor.
And we've seen 2 block punts already.
Exactly. Yeah, oh, man, that's another point. He's not the best play-by-play guy in the world for nothing. I mean, he's bringing up great points. You've seen 2 block punts already. Imagine if they block it and score on the block.
Right back in it. So 3rd and 35, just under 2 minutes to go here. They're going to hand off to McCaffrey. He looks like he wants to throw. Now he pitches out to Davis. Davis is going to go out of bounds, I think. Nope. He went out of bounds backwards, so it keeps the clock. Nope. Oh, well, Coach Hardy uses timeout. So because he went out of bounds backwards, clock continued to run. Coach Hardy used his final timeout, and we'll see a punt most likely.
And, you know, that's one of those times where it's so easy for us being up in the booth. We can say, hey, man, you should have forced him out of bounds to stop the clock whenever he's that close. But, you know, hey, I'm up top.
Yep.
It's easy for me to say that when I'm up top. But here, that's the last time out for GAC, and it'll be 4th down and it's punting. And I'm pretty sure they're bringing everybody after this one.
I got no doubt about that one. 2 block punts, and we've seen 2 different punters, and both punters have had a punt blocked. Cecil's punted twice. One of his was blocked. Stenstrom, the other punter, had his blocked as well.
Now, here's the thing. I told you I'm a riverboat gambler. I live on the edge. I go to Vegas and never come back with any money. I live on the edge, all right? If they send everybody, I'll just throw it over the top. I'll go for the fake. If they send everybody, why not?
Yep.
Let them have the option. Let your punter have the option. You know, because suppose they throw it over the top and they get a completion, game's over. Game is over because nobody's going to stop him if he gets a completion and he runs down the field.
So 4th and long here.
You see that spread punt.
Cecil, the lefty, likes this rugby-style punt. He gets it off, but it's short, and it takes a nice bounce for Valor, and it'll be touchdown at the 32-yard line. So Cecil definitely aware of that rush. Looked like he might have gotten that punt off a step earlier than usual.
But he was living right.
Absolutely.
He was living right. He got the roll. He got the roll he needed. But most importantly, if he didn't get the roll or anything, he got it off. That was the most important thing, to get the punt off.
And with the short punt and not allowing it to be fielded, it even ran off 3-4 more seconds, which in the last 92 seconds are precious. So now Josh Rose back on the field at quarterback, 3 receivers to the top of the screen. That's where he's looking. He throws it high to Max Burke, who pulls it down. And GAC with a big pickup there as they pick up almost 30 on the first play of this drive.
Great job of concentration by Burke to go up there with 2 hands down that seam and catch it and pull it in. Great job of concentration by that young man.
Didn't seem to be worried about getting hit either. Now Rose trips to his left, out route to Morrison, caught and gets out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock and move the chains.
Hey, woo. Woo.
A 9-point game here, minute 20 left.
And now that bad snap on that field goal hurt.
Blitz coming again, out route to Morrison, and a very nice defensive play there as Chase Lopez laid out to knock that ball down.
Chase Lopez, leading tackler on the team, shows he not only can tackle, he can play a little bit of pass coverage also. Great job of breaking the ball up and not putting his back hand on the receiver to pick up that pass interference call.
And looks like we're going to have a timeout by Valor.
You know, that's a good timeout. That's a good timeout by Coach Sherman because the clock was stopped, so it's not like you're losing anything by calling the timeout. You know, you call the timeout to bring your guys in, get them, hey, guys, let's refocus. Let's refocus. Let's find out where we are. You know, one thing about Coach Sherman we didn't mention, Coach Sherman never played football.
You're right.
Coach Sherman was a basketball player. He won a basketball scholarship in college, and he was the first AD of the program of Valor when Valor started. But then he became the head coach when the head coach retired. Now, if you have a guy who's never played football and he has 4 Super Bowl rings on his sideline, coaching up under him. That shows you what type of person he is. You know, he's a person who can have these former NFL players respect him enough. You know, that shows you what type of coach he is.
That true CEO, head coach kind of mentality. Rose drops back, little pressure, it's picked up. He throws it deep to Burke, who catches it, takes a big hit, and it is a catch. Lopez tried to say it was incomplete. Burke pulled it down, and we're first and goal near the 5.
Great job by Max Burke to pull that thing down, and the concentration. He knew he was going to get hit, and he held on to that.
Burke had an early drop, and he's made up for it on this drive with 2 big catches to get GAC in range. Out route just outside the reach of Trey Morrison. As coming off the edge, looked like it was 26. Matthew Tebow got his hands up and just affected the throw enough.
That was a beautiful route. I'm talking about he ran and he cut. He had that hard step on the inside and cut back out. God, that was a beautiful route.
So 1:05 left, 2nd and goal. Rose looking to throw. It's going to be a fade route. Going up for it. A flag comes in for interference. Morrison caught it. Was he in bounds? No.
He was out of bounds. They say he was out of bounds.
But it'll be at the 1 yard. I think it's a half a distance to the goal.
Yeah,
it's not because it's high school.
It's high school. They give them half the distance. But that'll put them at the 3.
3, yep.
But, you know, that was still great concentration to go up and try to catch that thing, even with the pass interference. That's one of those, I put my best athlete out there, and let me see what my best athlete can do. Yep, pass interference on the defense.
And it will reset the stick, so it'll be first down. So.
Nope. No, it's not an automatic. I thought it was.
I thought it was, too. I thought it was 15 and a first down.
Nah, they don't. We're in college mode right now. We got to get back to high school mode.
So 2nd and goal. Coming in motion, it's Burke. This could be one of those 2-point conversion plays. They throw it out to Burke. That should be interference again, and nothing. Coach Hardy is animated on the sideline about that one, and I think I've got to agree. Tebow got there definitely early on that one.
Yeah, he got there a little bit too early. That should be pass interference. And you can hear, we're on the Spartan sideline, and you can hear the Spartan fans letting them know that should have been pass interference. And Coach Hardy was having a great conversation with the ref. He was probably asking him where you're from, you know, what part of town you're from. Did I go to high school with you? You know, just regular, average, everyday conversation.
So Rose throws, and just off the hands of Floyd, and it'll bring up 4th and goal.
And, you know, that's one of those plays I talked earlier. You don't have to make the tackle. You just have to make the play. The entire entire right side of the defense from Valor, they got their hand up. They forced the quarterback to throw that a little bit higher than what he wanted to. They cut off those passing lanes on the goal line. That way, you don't have to make the tackle. You just have to make the play.
And they're going to kick the field goal here to make this a 1-possession game and try to get the onside kick. Henderson should be good, and he is.
Take the points. Take the points. Get those points on the board.
So Henderson knocks through his 3rd field goal of the evening. He's 3 for 4 on the night, and that'll make it 28-22. And we talk about the weapon Henderson can be. Now we'll get a chance to see if he's got one of those special onside kick foots that every coach is looking for.
I'm telling you, you want to set the ball straight up in the air, kick the top of the ball. There you get that big bounce, and you're hoping for that big bounce. And when you get that big bounce, you just need your athletes down there, somebody to go up high and get it at the highest point. Now, that's all you need to do to get it. Nothing special. That's all you need to do. Now, I make it sound a lot easier than what it really is.
So Henderson will kick it off.
You want to keep your eye down at the bottom of the screen. Number 4, Trey Morrison.
Yep. He's been the playmaker here in the second half, both offensively and defensively.
And you want to make sure no one jumps off sides.
And is it going to
Big
take
bounce.
a high bounce and knocked out of bounds? A heads-up play there by Noah Kuzma to just knock that ball out of bounds.
I'm going to tell you why that was even a smarter play than most people give credit for. By him tipping it out of bounds, if he didn't touch it, it would have been a penalty, and they would have got a chance to re-kick it and get another chance for the ball. But by Kuzma knocking that ball out of bounds, now it's no longer a penalty. It is Valor ball, 1st and 10. 1st and 10, Valor will get into either the best formation in football or the worst formation in football. It just depends on what sideline you're standing on.
And here it is, the victory formation. Stenstrom takes the snap, it takes a knee. They'll have to take one more of those before it's over. And already you see an awesome show of sportsmanship from these two teams, the linemen, giving each other daps. And that's something Coach Hardy talked about. He said, and Coach Sherman touched on it too. Both teams are going to be competitive in this game. Everybody wants to win every time they step on the field. But ultimately, whatever happened in this game wasn't going to affect the goals that these teams set for themselves at the beginning of the season.
And, I love games like this. They're two teams. They're playing an out-of-state game, and they're challenging each other. You can build up your schedule and play a couple of patsies, but you play a real, legit threat. You play a team that won a state championship and a team that went to the state championship. And it doesn't hurt. Win or lose, it doesn't hurt you in high school. But you get a chance to play big boy football. I love it.
Absolutely. And we saw plenty of guys tonight that we're going to be seeing on Saturdays moving forward. I think if we had to give a player of the game, it would have to go to Josiah Davis, who had about 80 yards rushing and had 6 receptions for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Something the running back isn't really known for is that pass catching ability, but he showed it tonight.
Oh yeah, the young junior showed his whole arsenal tonight. I'm talking about he was catching. He caught that 52-yard touchdown pass. On kind of not really a broken play, but a scramble by Stenstrom. He caught that pass when he broke off his route and ran deep. That was just a great heads-up play by the young man. He also had that 32-yard touchdown pass on kind of a similar play where he just picked up his route and took it down the field. I mean, for him to be a junior, a guy who's still learning this game, what a great heady play. And now, as much credit as we want to give to Josiah, he had a great game, but Stenstrom, I am so impressed by that young man. I really am. Absolutely.
Stenstrom headed to Colorado University, I believe. And for GAC, it's a loss. Those sting. Nobody likes them. Last year they had 2 of them. One was with this Valor team. The other one was in the state championship. But I thought Josh Rose was impressive today, and even Jackson Hardy, another young quarterback, when he came in, they showed the future's bright because they've got a lot of skilled guys, skilled position players who can make plays.
I'm telling you, man, that GAC team, those Spartans, they have no reason to hang their head tonight. They played a tough game. But they went up against a tough opponent. And sometimes life is hard. Life doesn't give you everything you want. If life gave me everything I want, hey, man, I would be driving a Ferrari and I'd be married to Holly Berry right now. But, she's not returning my calls right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'd be up here in the booth anyway, Sly.
I would still be in the booth. I would just have Holly outside waiting on me.
And we see a great show of sportsmanship and fellowship here as the two teams meet at midfield to say a little prayer together, and the fans will come join them. We want to thank you guys for tuning into our game tonight on SUVtv. Thanks to our entire crew, did an awesome job all night. For Sly Williams, I'm Ned Cage. Thanks for tuning in to SUVtv football. Enjoy your Friday night and have a safe weekend.